got the mic plugged in.
They put it right down the end of the field. That one they kicked it shallow. Certainly did. Well, it's Gosford in possession through that little tap free there, and it's Shane Rawlings. Runs it up to the 10-metre line and Umina side of the ground. Here they go now. Swing it out wide across the line, and it's Trevor Hoare now. Takes it up and had a great game here last Sunday for the Gosford side. Trevor Hoare gets up and plays it now. Out it comes along the line. Here's Bullo up the blind side, the big fella too. Oh, boy, gee, it's on in there early too, I can tell you. And there's a bit of feeling, and anybody that was worried about these two sides psyching themselves up, they needn't be worried at all, because it is all tight stuff in there now. But here's Gosford on the fly through Tony Clark over on the far side of the field, and he's put to the ground there. Good defence by the Umina side. Gets up and plays it. Clark gets it back now to Hillier. Hillier puts his head down and goes straight up the centre of that ruck. And the Umina defence come in and lay him down on the ground. Gets up, plays it. Back it comes now. Plater puts a little chip in over the top. It's not a bad looking one either, because there's nobody home. There's a race for the ball. They've left it behind. Umina Turner's got it, picked it up, gets a pass away to Clark. It's Clark's over. Oh, what a great Gosford try to kick this game off in the early stages, Dennis.
It certainly was. It was a brilliant little kick by Plater. He put the ball exactly where he wanted it, Bob. He kicked it off the outside edge of his foot. It's bounced. It was a bad bounce for the fullback. I felt a little bit sorry for Rick Napier, but he was back hot. He was back deep, Bob, waiting for a bomb, which Gosford elected to put the little kick over. And
oh, gee, what an important start for the Gosford Townies. 4 points to 0 in the first, 2 minutes of the match. About 21 metres out. And about 15 metres back now. About 5 paces, Anna. That's about all he takes. Sets himself and moves into it, and there it goes on its way. It's not a bad looking one either. The 2 flags are up, and it's 6 points to 0 Gosford in the early stages.
With Christmas just around the corner, Holland's Toy Warehouse is the place to shop for those Christmas gifts. There's a huge range of local and imported toys at discounted prices. The Toy Warehouse has the largest range of toys on the coast. Toys for kids of all ages, selling at super low prices. Bank card is welcome, or you can lay by any amount for as little as $2. So when shopping for toys, there's really only one place to shop. Holland's Toy Warehouse, Webb Street, East Gosford, opposite the Sportsman's Warehouse, and they're open 7 days a week.
Tujo Football from Grahame Park, Bob Sharman.
Gosford in possession through the kick-off, and it's Stephen Stubbs, their hooker, just runs it up now, about on his own 35-metre line, their own end of the ground. Gosford in possession. Noel Anna now gets a pass out. Looks like it's Trevor Hoare in possession, and he'll get up and play it. 40 metres out from the Gosford line, just about in centre field. Gets up now, plays it back to Rawlings. Back it comes to Binskin. Binskin with a kicking game again today. Drives it right back to, and it's taken by Napier, the Umina fullback, and he tucks it under his arm and goes straight up the field, but hit in a big tackle there. And there's a couple went in there, one from Plater and one from Turner, and Jimmy Wood said, we'll keep them down low, fellas. And that's a Umina penalty. And it'll be Jamie Thompson to look for touch on our broadcast side of the ground. Does so now, and that's a gain of about 10 or 12 metres only. But the name of the game at the moment is to keep possession and get some pressure back on the Gosford Townies. Ferraro will take the tap free now. Does so, a little dummy there. Now gets it on to Leo. Leo down the blind side and held up in a good tackle by Trevor Hoare and Warren Hillier. Gets up and plays it now. Gets it back along the line. MacArthur now gets, and Manning hit in a big tackle. A big tackle there by Noel Annett it was with Rawlings. But he's okay, he's on his feet. Gets up, plays it back to MacArthur. On it goes to Gary Lewis. Out wide, Lewis the big fella, and winds up. But they come across, put him on the ground. It was Tony Plater, the tackler. He gets up, plays it now. Out it comes now to, that's Mickey Williams, I think. Mick Williams, the forward for the Umina side, but he's put on the ground. Ferraro, dummy half, goes himself across field, looks to pick up Leo. Does so too successfully. But this Gosford defence pretty good at the moment. And they put him on the ground just about in centre field, 30 metres out from the Gosford line. Ferraro, dummy half, shoots it out to Thompson, puts a big long punt up in the air, and it's downfield, and they're all underneath it. Clark gets underneath it, but the ball's loose on the ground. It's been knocked behind, picked up by Umina on the far side. And there's a bit more pressure now mounting on the Gosford side. Let's see if the Townies can put a try on. Umina can put a try on. Out it comes along the line. And it's Slattery, is it? Slattery in possession, but he's crashed to the ground there. Kevin Manning it was. And he gets up and plays it now on the Gosford 22. Out it comes. MacArthur out to Thompson. Throws a pass to Lewis. Lewis turning up. He's split him, Lewis, the big fella. But here comes the Gosford Townie defence. And they wrap him up, put him on the ground, 10 metres out. They work the blind side. Thompson gets a wide pass out there, but I think it's loose now. Umina still got it. Umina still got the ball, and they're about 10 metres out from the Gosford line. Open at a great bait, this replay grand final. And there's a Gosford penalty. for, I think the infringement was not facing square onto the try line by the Umina player playing the ball.
It was a similar penalty, Bob, that nearly brought Gosford unstuck in the grand final, if we remember, where the kick hit the upright.
Certainly did. We relived that one about 14 times through the week, I can tell you. All right, well, they've put that out into touch on the Leagues Club side of the ground, and on big crowd build up over there too. They're about 4, 5, 6 deep over there on that Leagues Club side. But here's Gosford now in possession. Through Clark, just puts his head down, goes straight up into the Umina defence. And they've worked play up about 40 metres out. Gets up, plays it back. Back it comes now to Stubbs. Stubbs looks for runner 2, picks up Hillier okay. And Hillier off the centre of the ruck. And just tackle right in centre field. Gets up, plays it back to Bullo. Bullo shapes to pass. Can't unload though. And there's a couple gone into Bullo and he's put it on the ground and that'll be a Gosford penalty. That will dead set be a Gosford penalty. Thompson came in there with one underneath. And a bit of an altercation on there between Billy Dance and Shane Rawlings. And a bit of fire in this one early, Dan.
Yes, well, that's to be expected, Bob. But I also noticed then Cole Taylor injured his leg pretty bad on that far side. And this is going to be important to see if he can recover.
All right, well, that's a good kick too by Gosford. Binskin put that out into touch right on the Umina 22. And that's where they'll take the tap free. 10 metres in from the touch line. Binskin now sets himself now. He takes a tap free, does a little run around there. There's players everywhere. Oh, there's Edwards through the gap. Edwards, but Lewis has got him. Oh, by gee, the winger through the gap there at 100 mile an hour, but Lewis wrapped him up, gets up, plays it back. Ball's loose on the ground. Binskin picks it up and quite happy just to go to ground with that. And play now centred about 20 metres out from the Umina line in centre field. Gosford now going to swing it wide. Here it comes now. Lennon turns back inside, bumps off the tackle of Leo. Now he gets the pass to Rawlings. Rawlings beats a tackle too and he's up the blind side. But not a lot of ground gained in that movement. They're still about 12 metres out and right on the touchline. There's a player down over there. Tony Plater it is in centre field. Gosford in possession through Hall. Gets it on to Stubbs. A little short pass to Hillier. And the Umina defence not having any of that. They wrap him up, put him on the ground. There's Anna now at dummy half. Swing it wide. There's Binskin. Binskin decides to put it up in the air. I think it's going to be too big though. Yes, it is. And it's out over the dead ball line.
Stretcher going on for the Gosford 5'8". Doesn't look good at all, Bob.
No, well, I think by the way that he's holding that shoulder, Bobby Scott, it certainly appears that injured shoulder that he did about 3 weeks ago has popped out again. And Tony Plater will need to have some treatment on that, obviously. Bad luck for Gosford because Plater looking very, very good in the early stages of the game.
Yes, well, he's a player that's willing to use the kick. He'll put the little chip over, he'll go for line, but I suppose, Bob, if he goes off, the natural replacement would be for Darryl Turner to move into 5'8", and probably Mick O'Toole move in.
Well, that could happen too. It'll be interesting to see what they do because
Calder's gone again. They're bringing him off, which is always sad to see in a grand final after only about 5 minutes of play.
Yes, it certainly is. Bad luck for Tony Plater. Been a great footballer, and I know was looking extremely forward to this replay of this grand final. One of the fiercest competitors on the coast. Played the Central Coast Division football this year.
Doesn't want to come off?
No, he doesn't. He certainly doesn't. He's not real well at all, Tony Plater. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of the Gosford attendants with him now. And they've just got him down on the ground again and on the stretcher. And the play held up here just for a brief period of time.
That's a nice little
down there. We've got a little hold up in here. We'll take a commercial break and come right back.
He's looking at you, ma'am. 12:13 to your football Bob Sharman.
Well, an interesting situation there after that incident with Tony Plater. There was a touch judge in, and Jamie Thompson has been given 10 minutes in the sin bin. 10 minutes in the sin bin for Jamie Thompson, and Gosford have got the penalty right in front on the 22, and that's where Noel Lennon will take it from. The only thing I could have been would it be a late tackle, or what happened? I didn't pick it up, but it's the only thing that the referee might have pinged him for a late tackle, I think, on Plater.
Yes, I'd say that's what did happen, and both touch judges came in, but gee, it is a bad position to give a penalty away, Bob.
My word, particularly when you're down by 6 points to 0, and that easy. And the replacement for Tony Plater is Adam Westrup, and we'll just try and ascertain in a couple of minutes where Adam Westrup is going to play. All right, well, Annan's got this place right on the centre of the 22, and not a difficult one for Noel Annan, and that's for sure.
Vital kick this. If they can skip away to 8-0 in the grand final, it's going to be very, very hard to peg back. It's a vital kick for Gosford.
Okay, Annan got it set now. Just having another look at it. And why wouldn't he? By gee, 8 points to 0. That's a handy lead. All right, moves back from it now. Just takes that characteristic 5 or 6 paces. There he goes now, moves in and it's on its way. Doesn't look a bad one. Both flags are up, so the score at the moment, Gosford 8, Umina 0.
Trend Windows. Now that's the name to remember when choosing aluminium or timber windows and doors.
To get the best there is, my friend, you gotta get the latest trend.
The people at Trend Windows are experts in their field and can advise you on the best kind of windows and doors to suit your home. Give them a call and ask for a free, no-obligation quote.
You gotta get the latest trend.
Trend Windows, Railway Street, Woy Woy. Tudio Football, 8-0 at Grahame Park. Here's Bob Sharma.
And Gosford in possession. Mike Connors right down on the far end of the ground. And no, Umina have pinched that ball. Umina have taken the ball off them, so they come up with it now. Out it comes along the line. And there's Kevin Manning, puts his head down and goes straight into the centre of the Gosford defence. And they wrap him up. He's easy meat doing that. They wrap him up, put him on the ground. Gets up and plays it back to Taylor. Taylor gets a pass on to Leo now. Leo straight down the centre, the big fella. And doing plenty for the Umina Bunnies at the moment, I'll tell you. Leo gets up and plays it. 12 metres out. On it comes to MacArthur. Throws a long pass out there to, looks like Manning on the far side. And that'll be a Umina penalty too. There's one in underneath there from, who was it? Noel Annan.
Another Gosford player down, Bob, and that doesn't look too good. It looks like an elbow or a shoulder or something. They're going down like flies.
And who is that over on the other side? Is it Binskin? No, Binskin's on his feet with his hands on his hips.
No, I think it's one of the forwards, Bob. I didn't get his number, but I did think it was one of the forwards.
Well, he's down all right, and the trainer over there with him at the moment.
Yeah, it's Westrop, the replacement.
Westrop. Oh, gee, I tell you what, if he's going to come off, that'll be the shortest appearance ever in a grand final. He's only been on there 30 seconds.
Well, they've been saying all the year that the season's too long. It's been 1 week too long for a few of these players.
I'll say, all right, well, this is your minor penalty now, and it's about, let me see, about 21 metres out. Johnny MacArthur to take the kick. Moves back from it now, and takes the 2. Takes the 2 to the right, round the corner kicker. There it goes. It's on its way. It's not a bad one. Doesn't look a bad one, and 2 flags are up. So the score now, Gosford 8, Umina 2.
How do I get to watch them according, for this thingamajig?
It's easy as BBC. BBC!
The BBC Thingamajig sale is on. Keep fit while you mow your lawn with Victor Jogger Mowers, only $65. BBC also have hose hangers, only $2.35, and Narlex fitted hose, 18mm Premier, only $20.95. Just a few of the many specials available from the BBC Thingamajig sale catalogue out now.
Come on, it's BBC.
Incredible how they know.
Tudio Football, Bob Sharma.
And Gosford take that kick off now, drive it right upfield too, and it's taken by Napier, and runs it up now on his own 22-metre line. Gets up and plays it, and it's Manning through on the fly off the fringe of that ruck. Manning, he's a tough little customer too. He gets up and plays it back to Taylor. Taylor gets MacArthur, side of the gap, MacArthur. Looks for support. Had Leo there, but Leo couldn't hold it. Oh, and a brilliant little run there by the Umina halfback, and hurting that tackle too.
Well, there's the Umina spirit coming back, Bob. There's one thing you can't knock about this club. They've got a ton of guts, and they won't be beaten in the grand final. 8-2, they're still in it, and that kick, that 2 points, so it'd give them a great lift.
Certainly will. And Johnny MacArthur through the gap there at 100 mile an hour. He was flying. Umina win the scrum right in centre field. MacArthur gets it out to Ferraro. Ferraro onto Woods, but Woods can't handle it, and it's loose on the ground. And there's a Gosford penalty. Gosford penalty for the Umina player holding that Gosford defender. And that'll be a Gosford penalty.
I thought both sides were a little bit slow there, Bob, not to capitalise on that loose ball. I thought both Umina and Gosford had the chance to dive on it, but they didn't do so, and Gosford were lucky to get out of it with a penalty.
Jimmy Woods impressing me up to date, Dennis, right on the ball in this game, isn't he?
Yes, and that's the first scrum we've had all day too.
Okay, there's the tap free, taken by Westrop, gets it on to Binskin. Binskin now on a haul. Raw throws a little short pass off his hip to Shane Rawlings. And Rawlings straight up the centre, and they're about, let me see, about 20 metres out now. Here they go on the ball. Bullo up the centre on the turn. A turn is all through the gap. But he's lost the ball, and Umina come up with it. Umina come up with it. And I think it was Joe Leo that picked it up. No, it was Billy Dance. Billy Dance, Umina in possession over on the lead top side now, about 15 metres out from their own line. They'll get up and they'll play it. Back it comes to Taylor. Taylor now gets it on to big Gary Lewis down the blind side. Lewis and to the big fella put down on the ground by Steve Bullo. Gets up, plays it back to Ferraro, throws the dummy, goes under one tackle. Now he gets a pass away to Taylor. Oh, and there's some holes in these Gosford forwards at the moment. And Umina certainly capitalising. Gets up, plays it back. It comes to Ferraro at dummy half. Throws a pass out now. Dance has got it. Nearly lost it. He gets a pass on to Williams. Oh, there's a skirmish on here. Who is it? Billy Dance. And they can't pick the other player up, and it is on. And there's players coming from everywhere. Oh, Rawlings into it. He's let one go. He's got all of Billy Dance. Dance is trying to let one go. Rawlings still in there, and he's throwing. He looks like the heavyweight champion of the world at the moment, Joe Rawlings.
I think Billy Dance might have a few problems here if he gets singled out. There was a slight indiscretion in back play that if Dance gets called out, I think he might have a problem.
Yes, well, that was very interesting, actually, because the Gosford defender went on with the tackle, which possibly he wasn't legally entitled to do, but he certainly had the odds against him. Scotty had about 5 to 1 there at one stage, and the young Rawlings came along.
Well, he never wants to give football away. I tell you, I'd back him in the ring. He had about 6 of them at one stage there, and they were all backing off.
He's a very good close-in fighter, as they say.
Arms, legs, and teeth and toes.
Geez, you're not wrong. I would like him to be chasing me after chasing his girlfriend down the street at 400 mile an hour, I'll tell you.
I tell you what, they've got to have to watch this Ferraro in around the rucks from dummy half. He's twice picked the gap now and picked players coming up on him. And this is going to be interesting, Bobby.
Well, there's one off. Bullo it is, the front row forward. What's he done? Sent him off the field completely? 10 minutes, is it? What's he got there?
10 minutes in the sin bin.
10 minutes in the sin bin, Stephen Bullo. Well, and Jamie Thompson already spending 10 minutes in the sin bin. I don't think he's back on the field at this stage, so, gee, there's some fooling out there, Dennis.
Well, that's what grand finals are all about. And they want Sammy Ferraro now. He's going to spend 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Well, we've got 11 men on one side and 12 on the other.
Well, one player that I would have given 10 minutes is the one that didn't go off. I won't mention his name, but he had a slight high knee action. He didn't get picked up. The other two fellows have been sent for throwing a punch, but the other fellow did something I think probably deserved 10 minutes.
Well, what an interesting situation in the first, 14 minutes of the game. Oh, gee, I'll tell you what, if you thought last week's was exciting, what's this one going to turn out to be? It's all on again, I'll tell you. Scrum pack's down now, 35 metres out. Umina win the scrum, and it's Umina penalty. Feed across against Stubbs, the Gosford hooker. And that'll take a bit of pressure off Umina at this point.
I hope they don't meet up in the dressing rooms, these fellas, with 10 minutes each. It'll be an interesting time in there.
I think after 80 minutes in this hot sun, Bob, they won't have too much energy left.
Okay, they take the penalty, and it's a good kick too. Takes it down, let me see, right on the halfway line, is it? Yeah, right on the halfway line over on the Leagues Club side. Cole Taylor now will take the tap free. Now he gets a pass away. Gets it on to Williams. And Williams crashed to the ground there, 10 metres on the Gosford side of halfway. Gets up, plays it back to MacArthur. MacArthur gets a little short pass on to Joe Leo. But Joe Leo's put on the ground there. Good hard tackle by Warren Hillier and Shane Rawlings. They get up now. Here comes Umina. Little run around there with Dance. Gets a pass on to Lewis. Lewis nearly found the gap again there, Lewis, but he's crashed to the ground by Rawlings again. Gets up, plays it back. Back it comes now to Manning. Manning gets a pass back to Leo. Leo goes for the gap. The big fella, but they've got him now. Crashed to the ground. Good tackle too. 30 metres out from the Gosford line, just about in centre field. Cole Taylor swivels, comes back the other way. Gets a pass on to Lewis down the open side. Stands up, Lewis gets it back to MacArthur, but he's knocked it on. Oh, I thought that was a knock on, but it must have come off a Gosford player, said Jimmy Woods. And Umina still in possession. They're throwing this ball around like a hot potato, but Gosford come up with it, I think. And there's a penalty, a Umina penalty. That Gosford player offside. And that'll be right in front of the sticks, 22 metres out. And Trevor Binskin not real happy with that one.
A lot of pressure on Jimmy Woods here, Bob. The game's seesawing. There's players being sent from the field. The ball's possession's changing hands. We all thought that was a knock on there, but Woods certainly seen it another way, and I didn't particularly think that Gosford player was offside, but Woods seen it another way once again, and that's what Trevor's screaming about, I think.
He puts the 2 points over, it won't make any difference because it's points on the board in the grand final, and these are a vital 2 points for Umina.
Certainly are. Well, he had a kick like this last week that could have won it for him.
I'll back him out on this one. I don't think he'll miss this one, Bob.
Okay, he's got it set. 21 metres out. Moves back. Sets himself now. Young MacArthur. Plenty of pressure on him too. There it goes. Left foot kick. Oh, yes, okay. So the score at the moment, Gosford 8, Umina 4.
John, do you know something a bit funny about these paint and paper people?
Hello, I'm Henry VIII.
You're right, Helen. They've flipped their lids.
No doubt about it. To sell 10 litres of stockade acrylic fence paint in beautiful Mission Brown at $17.35 is sheer lunacy. We flipped our lids.
$17.35. That's madness.
You think that's mad? Buy the fence paint and the brush is free.
Save on exterior paints now at Paint and Paper. They've flipped their lids. Available at Paint and Paper, 451 Pacific Highway, North Gosford.
2GO football, Bob Sharman.
Well, here's Napier now, the Umina fullback, and he's taken play from the kick-off about 30 metres out, and there's a Umina penalty, another little one in underneath by that Gosford defender, and Jimmy Wood's right on the spot. And it's a Umina penalty, and they'll look for touch on the league stop side of the ground. There they go now. Williams takes it. Not a bad-looking one either. Not a big game, but he's made safe, but he's put it out into touch. About 10 metres on his own side of halfway. Cole Taylor now to take the tap free. Does so. Gets it on a big Gary Lewis, and he winds up the big fella. Oh, gets a beautiful little pass away now. Oh, McCarter down the centre. McCarter now. He gets a pass away, but it's loose on the ground and knocked on.
And he's dangerous, Bob. Every time he gets the ball, he sights those openings, and he's running off those big forwards. If he keeps doing that, he's certainly going to be a problem for Gosford.
Gee, and isn't he electrifying for that first 10 or 20 metres? Okay, here's Thompson and Ferraro. Ferraro going back onto the field with Jamie Thompson. So Umina back at full strength. Let's see what happens here. It's a Gosford scrum win. Darryl Turner now moved into the 5'8 position. Wayne Tempest has come up into the centres. And it's Gosford in possession. Here they go. Tony Clark in from the wing, trying to take a little bit of pressure off his forwards. And some good Umina defence there, and they drive him back about 2 metres and put him on the ground in centre field. Cole Taylor at the marker. Gets up now. Gosford, they play it. Back it comes to Shane Rawlings. Does the same thing. One wide off the fringe of that ruck, and he's put on the ground in centre field. 3 metres on his own side of halfway. They get a pass back to Binskin. Elects to turn it back to Warren Hillier on the blind side. Hillier goes up, runs crabwise a little bit across the field, and he's easy meat there for the Umina defence. They wrap him up tight, put him on the ground, ball and all. Here's Wayne Tempest now. Little darty run from the dummy half, and makes a good gain there of about 10 metres. And that'll be the 5th tackle. Gets up Wayne Tempest, plays it back. Back it comes to Binskin. He'll kick it, and kick it for sure, and that's exactly what he does. Kicks it up to Napier, bounces over his head. It's up in the in-goal area. Who's got it? Finnegan. Finnegan now trying to run it up, but wrapped up in a great tackle there. Wrapped up in a great tackle, and it was Westrup that brought him down about 1 metre out. Here's, McCarter now. McCarter's blitzed him again. Having a great game, the little fella. By geez, quick for that first 10 or 15 metres. But he's cleared him now. Ferraro, dummy half, gets a pass out to Leo on the blind side. They're throwing this ball around everywhere. Umina at the moment. Come off a Gosford player. 6 to go. And it's Umina in possession, just about in centre field, 30 metres out, and I can't believe the speed this game's been playing out again today. There must be 150% fit. Here's Lewis. Brushes off one, just pushed Rawlings out of the road. Gets a pass now on to McCarter. McCarter looks for support and gets it on to Finnegan, I think it is. And he's put on the ground right on halfway. Great stuff from the Umina side. Gets up and plays it. Back it comes to Ferraro now. McCarter shoots a pass to Thompson. Throws a little one inside now to Manning. Manning trying to get away from the Gosford defence, but they put him on the ground. 5 metres on the Gosford side of halfway. Ferraro, dummy half, gets it back to it's Jamie Thompson, and he goes for a kick for touch, but it's too long and out over touch on the full. And we'll pack a scrum down right on halfway, and I'll tell you what, Bob, he's got 100 mile an hour again this game today.
Well, you wouldn't think they'd be able to pick it up from last week. It was played at a tremendous pace, but they have. They're just throwing this ball around. A bit more spite in the game this week. I think that's been caused by the frustration of both sides, but a great game of football.
Yes, well, there's Umina in possession now through Thompson. Gets a pass out to Billy Dance. But look at this Gosford defence. Turner it was in company with Edwards, and they're all over him like a bag of mushrooms. Gets up. Here's Big Lewis down the blind side. Drops the shoulder. But he can't unload. They come across. Rawlings it was underneath him, and Edwards over the top. Gets up now, plays it back to Ferraro. Ferraro goes to the dummy half. Gets a pass on to McCarter. He tries to unload one-handed. But there's 3 Gosford defenders there. 3 red jumpers, and they all put him down on the ground in centre field, 30 metres out. Gets up. Thompson's got it. Big long pass out to nobody. It's gone out over the other side. It's Slattery in possession on the far wing. And he's put on the ground, but not before he can get the pass away to Napier. Napier's sided a hole, and he's found it too, straight up the centre. And a gain of about 12 metres, Napier. Gosford have got him now, though, in centre field. Hillier, the tackler. Gets up, plays it back to Ferraro. Ferraro now, McCarther, gets it on to Thompson, on to Big Joe Leo. And Leo's put on the ground 35 metres out on the grandstand side. Back it comes to McCarther. Little left foot kick in. Binskin's got it. Comes off Binskin. Westrup's picked it up. That's a bad ruling from Jimmy Woods. I can't see possibly how that was a knock-on.
Well, I didn't think that Binskin knocked on Bob, but I didn't know whether the other guy had. He was unsighted.
I wish I had a video we play, we could have a look at that. But anyway, Gosford win the scrum. Binskin's folded. Got Turner there, but he can't unload. He's caught one over the face for his troubles too, Binskin, but he's put on the ground. He's okay. Gets to his feet. Plays it back now to Turner. Here's Vane Tempest. He's got a bit of pace too. Oh, unloads beautifully, and Vane Tempest, hitting a big one. But Gosford in possession. Vane Tempest very slowly to his feet. Was Gary Lewis. Hit him in a big shoulder charge. Gosford in possession on the far side. Here's Edwards. Elects to go, keep it going up the blind side, but he's gone out in a touch. 3 metres on his own side of halfway. And the score at the moment, 8 points to 4 in favour of Gosford.
It's a good testing period for Gosford here. Umina are throwing everything at them, and if they're going to go to this sort of effort, they've got to get some rewards too, Bob. I think if they keep this sort of pressure up and they can't get points on the board, it's going to make it difficult for them. They could play themselves.
Okay, Umina in possession now. They've won that scrum okay, and it's Billy Dance.
Below back on for Gosford.
Billy Dance down in the centre of the field, gets up, plays it back, back it comes now. Looks like Napier up from fullback. Oh, good little run too by the fullback, makes a gain of about 7 or 8 metres, and he'll get up and play it in centre field. Back it comes now to Williams. Williams gets a pass on, it's loose. No, Finnegan's picked it up, gets it back now to Billy Dance, straight up centre field. Billy Dance, oh, great run by the centre. And the Gosford defence really being tested at the moment, I can tell you. They get up now and they play it. Back it comes to McCarter. McCarter on to Finnegan. Stops, turns, goes back the other way. Tries to stand the Gosford defence up, but they put him on the ground. It was Frank Edwards. They get up now, play it back to Steve Woods. Makes a good bust from dummy half down the blind side. Woods and his work play down onto the 22-metre line on the scoreboard end on Gosford's end of the ground. Gets up, plays it back. Manning now. And straight off the fringe of the ruck, one wide. They put him down. And that'll be a changeover in possession. Gosford will come up with it right on their 22-metre line. Bullo back on the field. He'll get up. Out it comes. Vane Tempest. Vane Tempest now puts his head down, goes straight up the centre. Vane Tempest playing in the centres now. And he'll get up and play it. Centre field. Comes back to Binskin. There goes that kick from Binskin. He said, let's get out of this, and he drives it right up. Napier takes it safely, though. 30 metres out from his own line, and he'll run it up from there. Comes straight up centre field. Oh, gapped them. There's absolutely gapped the Gosford defence. Runs round 2 or 3. Still going, looks for support, gets a pass away. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He hangs on to it. And just as well he did too. But Umina on the boil. They're really on the boil. Ferraro's got it. On it comes to Thompson. The 5'8" slips another little pass away to his mate McCarter. And they're throwing this ball around everywhere, Umina. Ferraro, dummy half, back on to Thompson. Works the blind, throws a wide pass out. Oh, Slattery can't handle and it's knocked on. And good stuff by the Bunnies.
Great football to watch, Bobby. Umina are throwing the ball around. It's only top defence from Gosford that's keeping them out, but that little halfback for Umina, McCarthy, by gee, he's a slippery customer. They're going to have to really watch him. He's looking for breaks all the time.
And I tell you, the other fellow that's impressing me, they were a bit concerned, Umina, about losing Martin Briggs, but this fellow Napier playing fullback has certainly done nothing wrong up to date, has he?
He's had a great game.
Okay, scrum packs down and looks like Umina win it. Yes, they do. This is Slattery now, in from the other wing. Gets a pass away to Ferraro. This could be trouble for the Tigers. Off to the Townies, I'll tell you, Ferraro, nearly through the gap. He's 15 metres out and right in front of the goalpost. What do they do with it? Here they go now. Comes out now. Thompson's got it. Gets it on the dance. He's got Woods flying. Oh, Woods flying at the line, but he's pulled down. Good Gosford defence there to stop the flying centre. They get up, play it. Back it comes now. That's Finnegan. Finnegan down the blind side and pull up about 3 metres short. And surely they must swing it wide, Umina. There's Woods now. Puts his head down from dummy half. That's the settler, obviously. And they'll get up and they'll play it now, Umina. 3 metres out. Woods to play it. Back it comes. Ferraro on to Leo. Leo throws a wide pass out to Thompson and handles it okay, but there's a Gosford penalty. And I think that's a rule for a Shepherd there, Dennis, was it?
That's right. He's got Lewis come through on the boil. They dummied to Lewis, but he's got them for a Shepherd.
Well, certainly a let-off for Gosford because there were a couple of big gaps out there at that time. But Binskin now, he'll take the pressure off the Gosford town. He's kicks for touch and finds it okay. Right on the 22-metre line on the grandstand side of the ground, and the score 8 points to 4 at the moment. Gosford in front. Edwards now will take the tap free. Woods just waving the Umina defenders back. Okay, they take the tap free. Edwards a little run around with Binskin and gets the ball back. Just puts his head down and content to work that up about 5 or 6 metres. And that's where he'll get up and play it. Up he gets now. Who's it? Stubbs. Stubbs comes the blind side. Had Bullo coming up the open side, but elected to go himself. And he'll get up now and he'll play it back to Binskin. Binskin now gets it on to Annan. Oh, dangerous player too, the big fella. Plenty of pace for that first 10 or 15 metres, and he nearly busted the line of the Umina defence. But they rub him up in centre field, 5 metres on Gosford side of halfway. Oh, beautiful pass from Binskin. Could have been a bit of trouble. Gets it on to Edwards. He gets a pass to Rawlings. Rawlings can't handle. And that will be a Gosford penalty for Joe Leo holding Rawlings before he had the ball.
Yes, it was a fractional decision, but I think Woods is right. He didn't give Rawlings a chance to catch the ball first, and he's been penalised.
There wasn't much in it though, Dennis. I think he was a bit quick with the whistle.
Fractional, but that's what referees are there for.
25 minutes gone in this first half of the Central Coast Grand Final replay for 83, and Gosford leading 8 points to 4. Now it's Gosford's turn to attack because they've put that ball out in the touch 24 metres out, and it'll be Binskin now to take the tap free. Just gets himself set. Woodsy just waving the minor defenders back. There's the run around. Rawlings has got it. Takes a little pass off Binskin. And working well in close to the rucks too, these two, Binskin and Rawlings. Rawlings will get up and play it in centre field. 22 metres out from the minor line. There's Turner. Gets a pass on now to Hillier. Oh, Hillier, good run there too, but some equally good defence by Ferraro and Kevin Manning. Gets up, plays it back. Back it comes to Turner. Gets a pass on to Bullough right over on the Leagues Club side, but Bullough crashed to the ground there. Good tackle too. It was Billy Dance, the tackler. They'll get up Gosford. Play it. Back it comes. Vane Tempest got it. He goes one wide off the fringe of the ruck too. And still playing with that right knee very heavily strapped. Gosford in possession through Turner. Gets it on to Binskin. Shows it. Turns it back inside to Hillier. And Hillier put on the ground. Oh, good solid tackle there too from Mick Williams. And the defence of both sides of this game extra good. There's Turner now with a drop at field goal. No good, said referee Wood. So we'll start play from the centre of the 22 with the score at the moment. Gosford 8, minor 4.
Colour Care in Stockland's Imperial Centre not only brings your photos to life in just 1 hour, but they also offer so many bonuses. 2 prints for the price of 1 available on request. All you have to do is ask. There's 20% discount if the free replacement film is not required. A big 30% discount for bulk lots of 5 films or more, and a free replacement disc film on all disc films. And at Colour Care, they use exclusively Kodak materials. Take your films for processing to Colour Care. Lower level of Stockland's Imperial Centre.
Full-time in Sydney in the third grade grand final at the cricket ground. St George 9, Penrith 6. Man of the match, Neil Pringle. Reserve grade just about to start. Now back to Bob Sharman, 2GO football.
Give me that again, Michael, the man of the match.
Neil Pringle.
Neil Pringle. Are you sure?
Positive.
Must be 2 Neil Pringles.
There couldn't be 2 Neil Pringles, I'll tell you.
Okay, well, back here at Grahame Park. And Jemima in possession. There's Thompson. Puts his foot to it too. I'll get this all right in a minute. And it's Vane Tempest. He picks it up okay too. Oh, good run from the fullback. He's brought it right upfield too, about 10 metres on his own side of halfway. And he's put on the ground. Turner at dummy half. Gets a pass to Binskin. This game being played at 120 mile an hour. There's Edwards now in possession. Right on halfway. Struggles in the tackle. Now they got him. And he'll get up and play it back to Clark. Back it comes to Binskin. Binskin on to Hoare. Turns it back inside to Edwards again. Edwards right in the centre of the forwards there and having a great game again, Frankie Edwards. And they've worked play 10 metres on the Umina side of halfway. Rawlings dummy half. Gets it on to Binskin now. On a turn, a little chip over the top. Oh, MacArthur goes back and takes it beautifully though. Beats the tackle of Turner. Beats 1, beats 2. There he goes. Oh, hit the big tackle there though. And it looked like Warren Hillier was it. Yeah, Warren Hillier, great tackle there. You get up, play it. Back it comes now. Umina in possession over on the far side, 40 metres out from their own line. And it's Mickey Williams who'll get up and play it for Umina. Does so. Gets it on to Ferraro. Ferraro looks for a runner. Finds Manning. And another great tackle there by Warren Hillier this time at Shane Rawlings. They get up now, Umina, play it back along the line. Out it comes now to Leo. Leo turns it back to Billy Dance, but didn't really give him anywhere to go. And he stands in the tackle, unloads now, gets it on to Leo. Leo on to MacArthur, puts the chip in over the top. MacArthur's a race for the ball if he gets the bounce. Oh, but beautifully taken by Binskin. And probably saved the day there because MacArthur was flying. Gosford in possession now, 40 metres out from their own line. And the defence of both sides is something else, I can tell you. The crowd here at the moment really enjoying this rugby league replay. Gosford in possession. And it looks like Annan now. 1 wide off the fringe of the ruck. He's lost the ball. You might have come up with it. And a bad mistake there from Annan. You might have come up with it now. 10 metres on the Gosford side of halfway. Billy Dance tries to run it up now. But he swapped there in a good tackle. It was Turner underneath and Hillier over the top. Gets up and plays it. Back it comes to Thompson at dummy half this time. Ferraro goes himself up the blind side. But he's got no support. He's wrestled to the ground there. Looked like Bullough. Yes, it was Bullough. Right on the halfway line. 10 metres in from touch. Gets up, plays it back. Back it goes to MacArthur. On to Thompson. Wide pass to Dance. Dance unloads again. Goes out to Woods. He's got a bit of pace too. Stops, turns, comes back the other way. Still going Woods straight down the centre. Looks for support. Oh, it's loose on the ground and a knock on. That'll be a knock on. Oh no, 6 to go. 6 to go, said Jimmy Woods. And oh boy, I don't know about that one. But anyway, Umina in possession.
He's trying to keep the game open, Woods, but that was a dead set knock on then.
Oh, for sure it was. But MacArthur now on to Thompson. Now he gets it on to Leo. Leo playing this game wide too. Standing out in the centre's the big front rower. And he's creating a bit of havoc too for the Gosford defence. Here's Ferraro. There's a gap there if they go. Oh, Williams has got it. Beach 1, beach 2. Still going down to the 22. Right in front of the Gosford goalpost in centre field. Ferraro, dummy half. Now he gets it on to Thompson. Throws the dummy. Goes himself. Thompson the 5'8". But there's the Gosford defence now. They swarm all over him. Hillier it was in company with Bullo. Thompson will get up and play it. Back to Ferraro. Out it comes to MacArthur. Goes for the drop at goal. Comes off a Gosford player. There's a race for the ball. And Gosford come up with it right on their own line. Down in that turnstile corner.
It was hard to follow that. Down 4 points. They're behind 8-4. And to take a drop kick there where forwards were all around him was a little hard to follow.
Well, what they've done now, of course, is that Gosford have had possession, but they've been forced into an error situation by being forced over their own line. And they'll get possession back now from the drop underneath the goalpost. Binskin now takes it, puts a little stab kick in. It's not a bad, good bit of play too from Binskin. And he's got Clark there. Clark gets the ball back for Gosford, runs it upfield, and brings it up now about 25 metres out. Gets up, plays it, back it comes to Binskin, run around with Edwards. Edwards dangerous all the time for the Gosford Townies. We've had 31 minutes of play in the first half and the score 8 points to 4 in favour of Gosford. Umina have pinched it, but there's a knock on both ways there, said Woods, so we'll pack down a scrum about 30 metres out from the Gosford line in centre field.
Both sides facing different problems here, Bob. Umina have had all the possession in the last 20 minutes. They're mounting some great attack, but they can't finish it off. Here we go.
Well, Gosford wins the scrum. Oh, can you believe that?
Well, Binskin's fault there. They won the scrum. He lost the ball, and it's the Umina try.
Well, yes, it certainly was, and there's a player that's probably been Gosford's mainstay all the season, and as Scotty just said, he made a very, very bad mistake there, right on his own, probably about 30 metres out, and Umina capitalised on it. The ever-present MacArthur snapped the ball up. He's run about 30 metres and to turn the ball back into Thompson, and Thompson's finished it right off.
Gee, Dennis, don't they make a marvellous combination, these two kids?
They certainly do, Bob. They follow each other wherever they go. If one makes a break, the other one's right there, sitting right on his hip, waiting for the pass.
Not a bad place to score them too, under the black dot.
Beautiful. Well, we've got a scoreline now that reads 8-all.
Scotty, I thought that Umina had to score a try there, but they've thrown a hell of a lot of energy into trying to get points on the board, and unless they could have got a reward, I think it would have started to affect their mental attitude.
Well, it's like last week. Umina got off to a slow start, but by gee, they've come back. They're playing great football, and Gosford's going to have to really work hard now.
Okay, here's the kick. MacArthur moves into it, looks okay. 2 points are up there to score Umina 10, Gosford 8.
Harvey Norman Discounts at Erina have a huge variety of furniture from which to select. This week you can save $100 on a single bedroom suite in teak wood grain finish. The suite features a large wardrobe, 4-drawer dressing table and storage bedhead. Really fantastic value for only $299. And they have jumbo-sized velvet bean bags in a big variety of colours, $24.95 each. You won't beat the genuine offer from Harvey Norman Discounts, the Entrance Road, Erina. Open 7 days.
Studio football at 18 to 1 o'clock, Bob Sharman.
Well, from that kick-off, the ball's gone dead. The ball's gone dead, so it'll be a restart of play from underneath the goalpost. The Umina goalpost. And Ferraro now just calling his troops together, clapping his hands. He said, come on, fellas, let's get on with this. And they take the drop out now. Drive it downfield. Who's going to take it up? Trevor Binskin. Oh, needs a big game from here on out too. Trevor Binskin. He slips the pass away to Vane Tempest, the big fella. He winds up, but he can't get away from the tackle of, let's see, who was that? Manning it was, I think, on the far side of the field. Gets up now, Vane Tempest. Gosford in possession. Here's Bullo. Bullo will run straight and hard too at the Umina defence. And we've had about 34 minutes of play in this second half. Bullo now plays it in centre field, throws it out to Binskin. Binskin on to Turner, slips another one back inside to Warren Hillier, puts his head down, goes straight up the centre, but tackled by the ever-present Sammy Ferraro. They get up now. Gosford plays it, out it comes. Turner now shapes the pass, gets it on to Rawlings. Rawlings beats one tackle, but he can't get away from big Gary Lewis. Wrestles him to the ground right on the 30-metre line. Gets up now, Rawlings, plays it back it comes to Trevor Hall. Been a bit quiet up today, Trevor Hall. Ball's loose on the ground, he's lost it, and Ferraro's come up with it. Ferraro's come up with it, he's having a great game against Sammy Ferraro. Out they go now, Woods has got it, gets it on now to Billy Dance. Billy Dance looks to be bringing it. Beautiful pass on to Petty, and he gets a pass inside to Woods, but he can't, out over the line, into touch. And, by gee, they look good with the ball at the moment, Dennis Umina, don't they?
Yes, I've been watching this game very closely the last 20 minutes, Bob, and I feel that if Umina get the ball out wide like they did on that occasion, I think Gosford are certainly going to have a lot of trouble. I just feel that the disruptions that Gosford have had to their outside back, Umina have got to capitalise on that.
Well, there's a Gosford penalty from that scrum, feed across against Cole Taylor. And Gosford take it now and drive it up right on the 22-metre line on the grandstand end.
We've got 10 minutes to go in the first half.
Okay, take the tap free now through Edwards, gets it on to Binskin. Binskin fires a pass out to Stubbs, out it comes down to Bullo. Bullo puts his head down, his work play up now about 23 metres out from the Umina line, and they need some points on the board before half-time do the Gosford Townies. Bullo now gets up, gets a pass out it comes to Hillier. Hillier now puts his head down straight up the centre. I think they've got to be a little bit more constructive than that though, the Gosford Townies. They're down 10 points to 8 at the moment, and we've got about 5 minutes left in the first half. Oh, and there's Noel Lennon straight up the centre, Noel Lennon, but he comes straight back into the Umina defence through their forwards. And who do you reckon it was that dropped him right around the bootlaces? Sammy Ferraro. Binskin now in possession, gets it on to May Tempest. There's a gap there. Oh, nearly through the gap, May Tempest. And some desperation defence there by Jamie Thompson, put him on the ground. He'll get up though, Vane Tempest, plays it back out, it comes to Bullo. Turns it back now to Hillier. And Hillier swamped there and a good tackle. Ferraro again it was, in company with Kevin Manning. He'll get up, play it, out it comes. Now a little kick in there, little kick from Trevor Hawes. Too long though, and Napier's taken it right underneath his goalpost. Beach one, beach two, but he can't get away from, looks like the Gosford centre it was. And he's put on the ground. Now he'll get up and he'll play it. Moves it up about 7 or 8 metres from the dummy half position. Ferraro at dummy half. Gets a pass out now. Out it comes to Steve Woods. Steve Woods, plenty of pace to the Umina centre, and he's taken play up now about another 7 or 8 metres. They're about 20 metres out right in front of their goal post. Now it comes back to Thompson. Puts the kick in the air. He said, let's get out of this. It's going to be tight. Oh, it's hit the line. It's bounced on the line. Edwards has got it. Picked it up. He's going to bring it up. Finnegan's got him. Gets away from Finnegan. Dance has got him wrapped up though and drags him out into touch in a beautiful cover tackle. A beautiful tackle. And a bit of difference of opinion there on that kick from Jamie Thompson too. Okay, they feed the scrum Umina. MacArthur now comes round the open side, throws the dummy, goes himself, he's again. He's got Thompson inside. Oh, just hung on a fraction. No, it was Finnegan he had inside, but he just hung on a fraction long. And he'll get up and he'll play it back now. Ferraro, dummy half. They look good with the ball at the moment, Umina. Got a pass back to Cole Taylor, straight up the centre, Taylor. And I think that ball must be on fire. Dennis, the way Umina are throwing it around.
Yes, they're doing a lot with it, Bob. They're certainly mounting some pressure here. And Gosford are going to have their hands full for the next 5 minutes, I can tell you.
Here's Leo now. Throws a pass back to Ferraro. Ferraro lets one go and Trevor Hawes said thanks very much because it went right down his throat and Gosford come up with it. Darryl Turner now, he could be a match winner for the Gosford side. Comes back in field, beats one tackle. But look at the Umina defence, 3 of them there, all over him like a rash. And he'll get up now and a little knock on in there, Sid Woods. 35 metres out in centre field and we'll put out a scrum. 10 points to 8 at the moment in favour of Umina. And we've got about 2 minutes to go in this first half. And I think Dennis Fitness is going to play a great part in this second half, don't you?
Yes, it's very hot here, Bob. You imagine what it's like banging down in those scrums with all that dust.
Okay, Umina win the scrum. MacArthur comes around the open side again. Switches play inside through Thompson. Little inside pass there. Thompson put on the ground in centre field. Here's Cole Taylor now. Takes it up about another 4 or 5 metres before he too was put on the ground. Right on the 22-metre line in centre field. Thompson down, injured. MacArthur's got it. Gets it across to Leo. Leo comes back to blind side. Switch of play there. And that's not a bad tactic either by the Umina Bunnies. But Rawlings wasn't having any of that, and he's put Leo on the ground, and that's where he'll get up and play at the big fella. Pass comes back now. There's a drop at field goal by Napier, and not a good one, and the ball will go out over the dead ball line, and we'll have a restart of play from the centre of the 22. And 100 mile an hour again. I just don't know. These fellows must be in absolutely super super condition.
And what a great crowd's built up, Bob. I think there's another few hundred people snuck into this ground since we kicked off. The other side of the ground, it's people right along it. There's people up in the bowling club area and down the water end of the ground. There's certainly a good crowd and they're being entertained.
Let's have a look at the grandstand behind us too. It's chock-a-block at the moment. Great stuff for the players, great atmosphere, but here's Gosford in possession now. Binskin's got it, throws it out to Turner. Turner gets a pass to Vane Tempest. There's a gap there if he's good enough. Tries to unload the ball. Loose Dance has got it for Umina. Oh, gee whiz, the changing fortunes. A gap on there for Gosford and Umina come up with the ball. Ferraro, the ever-present Sammy Ferraro, working his heart off for the Umina Bunnies today. And doesn't he do that every week? But he's put on the ground there by Hillier. Gets up, plays it back to Taylor. Taylor now gets a pass to MacArthur. Turns around and swivels. Oh, Noel Lennon's got him, goes over the top. He gets away from him though. Now he gets a pass to Leo. Having a great game, the little fella. Leo now. And straight into the Gosford defence. 24 metres out from the Gosford line. 10 points to 8 at the moment and right on half-time. Here's Thompson now from dummy half. Just puts his head down round the blind side. Turner's got him now. And Thompson will get up, play it right on the 22. Back to Ferraro. Back to MacArthur now. On to Thompson. Thompson on to Leo. Back inside. And the big fella flying. I think he's lost the ball there though. And a knock on and we'll put out a scrum right in centre field on the 22-metre line. And we're right on half-time. Right on half-time. And there it is too. There it is too. Jimmy Woods blows time off with the score at half-time here at Grahame Park in the 83. Replay, Umina 10, Gosford 8.
Wyong Dairy, your local milk supplier, is asking for your help and cooperation. Did you know that milk crates always remain the property of Wyong Dairy? And that if you're not a milk vendor or a shop selling milk and you are found with a milk crate in your possession, you could be charged with theft. This is a timely warning in view of the fact that the illegal use of crates cost your local company in excess of $100,000 per year for replacements. Please don't do anything illegal. Return that crate or ring 531-422 and it'll be collected. Remember, if you are not a milk vendor or a shop selling milk and you are found with a milk crate in your possession, you could be charged with theft. So return that crate or ring 531-422. 531-422.
Get the things you want. The State Bank. We do more for you personally.
2GO, the Curzon station. Time is a minute past 1 o'clock now. Back to Grahame Park for 2GO football and Bob Sharman.
Just about all set for kick-off now. Both sides out on the field. And it will be Gosford this half running towards the Broadwater end of the ground. Umina, of course, coming up towards the bowling club end. And talking about the bowling club, they are lined about 4 deep right along the fence of the bowling club. So an absolute super crowd here at the moment for this exciting second half of football. The last 40 minutes maybe of the Central Coast Division Grand Final for 83, and who's going to be premiers? That's the big question on everybody's lips, and maybe in 40 minutes' time we'll have the answer to that. Jimmy Wood's got his hand in the air. All set for kick-off for the second half. Darryl Turner ready. Umina ready. Gosford ready. Here we go. Darryl Turner takes the kick-off, drives it downfield too, right down to the turnstile end of the ground. Ferraro puts his foot to it, just goes back and picks it up and runs it upfield. Oh, comes up to a good gain there of about 7 or 8 metres. And I think this Gosford defence is going to be really tested in this second half. Ferraro now gets to his feet, pushes the marker out of the road. Gets up, gets it back now. That's Leo, is it? Big Joe Leo. And comes straight up the centre of the field. In a good run too. Gets up now, plays it back. Back it comes now to Thompson. Puts his foot to it too. That might be the tactics from Umina too this half. Play it up in the other end of the paddock. Westrup goes back for it for Gosford. Takes it over his head. Stops and tries to beat the tackle of Dance, but he can't. And Steve Woods comes in over the top. They're 30 metres out from their own try line at the moment. Here's Vane Tempest now. Just picks it up and runs from dummy half. Just a little settler in the play there in the early stages. Vane Tempest now gets to his feet. That'll be a penalty. That'll be a penalty to Gosford. Kevin Manning pushing that player down to play the ball. And it'll be Binska now to look for touch on the grandstand side. Does so on a gain of about 15 metres too. And they'll take the tap free. They want some points on the board early. They're down 10 points to 8 at the moment. And still nothing in this replay for the grand final of 83. Here they go. Westrup now gets it on to Binskin. Binskin shoots it past to Stubbs. Went to let it go to Bullo, but Bullo had overrun it. And Stubbs just takes the tackle and goes to ground. Hillier runs from dummy half down the blind side. And he's put down there in a good tackle too. Williams it was. He'll get up now and play it. Back it comes. Binskin gets it on now to Hall. Hall switches the blind side. Gets it on a roll. He's rolling through the gap. Looks for support. He's got the ball. Pass away inside. Oh, they've got him wrapped up. Stubbs it was. 6 metres out. A good start for the Townies. They're on the boil. Out it comes. Binskin out along the line. Turner throws a dummy. Goes back inside. Straight at the post. Turner trying to unload, but he can't get his arms free. Cole Taylor's got him wrapped up 6 metres out. Gets up, plays it. Back it comes to Bullo. Bullo charges. And Gary Lewis wraps him up, ball and all, on the scoreboard corner. And that's where Bullo will play it. Fifth tackle, said referee Woods. Rawlings puts his head down, charges at the line. And that's a bit of negative stuff. They've got to open it up a bit better than that, Gosford. And that'll be a change over, and there's a touch judge in. Bruce Shipton in. And Jimmy Woods just walking over now. And looks like some sort of an incident occurred there about 20 metres out. Scotty, did you see what that was all about?
No, I missed that. I was watching the play, but obviously it looks like the Umina fullback's being called up.
Napier, yes it is. Rick Napier. And Jimmy Woods just waving the finger of scorn at him at the moment. Ferraro's there with his hands on his hips. The general pulls him back and said, come on.
Handy 2 points.
By gee, won't it be a handy 2 points? 10 points all. I've got vivid memories of that scoreline, I'll tell you.
What happens if it's a draw at full time? Can someone fill me in?
Yes, I can, because I spoke to Kenny Cosgrove during that half-time break, and if it's a draw after extra time today, we've got another replay on our hands next week.
Geez, this overtime I'm earning is fantastic. Well, we're going to come back again next week. They won't play the extra 10?
No, they're going to put a football field on the beach at Terrigal, I believe.
Well, I was going to say, I've got nothing to do next Sunday. Bob, I think an interesting part of the game we've reached now, if your miners stop giving away these ridiculous penalties, I believe that they can blot Gosford right out of this game. They're winning the scrums 6-3. They're making good use of the ball, but they're certainly giving away a lot of penalties. The penalties at this stage favour Gosford 10-5, which is 2-1.
Yeah.
I think if they eliminate that problem, Cole Taylor's got the ability to keep winning this ball 2-1. They can certainly blot Gosford out of this game, but it's no good of them giving the possession back from stupid penalties.
Certainly isn't. Okay, well, here's Anna now, and it's, let me see, 20 metres out, and it's about 7 metres to the right-hand upright on the Broadwater end of the ground. Got it set, moves back, takes about 5 paces, Noel Lennon. Steadies himself, and moves into it. There it goes. Oh, it's a beauty. It's right over the black dot going to score, would you believe? And all.
Chop goes the bonus. Now, what's this one? Truck hit him in the rear. Sorry, Mr. Policyholder, you claimed so. Chop goes your bonus.
G'day.
Oh, good morning, sir.
What's so funny?
Oh, this claim. Bloke reckoned that I knew it wasn't his fault because the truck had hit him in the rear.
Yeah.
And he could identify the driver, so he shouldn't lose his bonus. Says we should have faultless no-claim bonus like
NRMA?
Yes, like NRMA.
Whose faultless no-claim bonus works just like that?
Yes. Hey, how did you know what this bloke had written?
Because I'm the bloke who wrote it. Oh, and you've chopped my bonus, have you?
Now, sir, let's not get excited.
Get out of my way, fatso.
What are you doing with that axe?
I'm going to do some chopping of my own.
Oh, no! Not my new desk! Hey, that's executive quality time.
Only NRMA offers you faultless no-claim bonus, plus the security of joining over 1 million other car policy holders. Phone us for a quote. We're on the motorist side.
Tujo Football, Bob Sharman.
5 minutes gone in the second half. 10 points all the scoreline. Gosford in possession. Here's Hillier now down the blind side. They've worked it about 40 metres out from their own line from that kick-off. It looks like Trevor Hoare down on the ground injured, but Hillier will get up and play it. 10 metres on his own side of halfway. Gets a pass out to Stubbs. Out it goes to Turner. Binskin's got it. Throws a a long pass and a dangerous one. 2 out to Clark, who was nearly intercepted. And that could have been curtains, I'll tell you, but they come up with it okay. Gosford in centre field. Here's Turner now. Puts his boot to it too, and it's not a bad looking kick if it's got to run. Oh, it's going to be no. Oh, gee, picked it up. Slattery only just picked it up. Knocked back, said referee Woods. And Slattery brought to the ground, 35 metres out from his own line. He'll get up and he'll play it. Back it comes down to Napier. Napier puts his head down from dummy half, up the line side. But they wrap him up. Westrup and Hillier. Here's Cole Taylor now from dummy half. Another good gain of about 7 or 8 metres. And Rawlings calling on his players. Come on, fellas. He said 10 all. We've got to get out of this. Here's McCarthy, a little chip in. Oh, taken beautifully by Binskin too, and he just goes to ground with it. That's the smart thing to do too. And Binskin will get up and play it in centre field. 10 metres on the Umina side of halfway. Stubbs now, out in the back line, Stubbs. And he just runs it up about 4 metres before he's tackled by Ferraro. Noel Lennon now at dummy half. Gets a pass on to Bullo. Turns it back inside. Looks for a runner, but there's no runners there. Oh, and a bad blue there by Gosford. He stood there for 10 minutes. Bullo trying to unload and couldn't. Binskin got it now. Gets it on to Rawlings. Comes back inside Rawlings. Trying to make some inroads into the Umina defence. And it's 35 metres out now from the Umina line. Gets up and plays it. Binskin passes on to Turner. Turner now looks for runner. Finds Annan. Annan down the middle. Gets it on to Hoare. Hoare turns it. Oh, loose on the ground. You might have come up with it. And Trevor Hoare would have been better off to go to ground with that and start all over again. Umina in possession through Ferraro. Back to MacArthur. Stops, dances, turns, goes back in the other way in centre field and put down right on the 22-metre line. He'll get up and he'll play it. Back to Ferraro. On to Thompson. Out it goes now to Dance. Left foot kick in. Puts it in the air and drives it back now to Vane Tempest. Oh, and a nice even bounce too for the fullback, and he's going to run it up. Can he wind up? Vane Tempest now winding up. But they rub him up, put him on the ground, 10 metres on the Umina side of halfway on our broadcast side. Vane Tempest to play it. He's got Edwards at dummy half. Edwards now. Oh, good inroad too. Makes now, slips a pass away to Binskin. He's got channels out there, but can't unload. Right over on the Leeds Club side of the ground. 10 points all at the moment. And here's Binskin now. Makes a good run up field. He's got Vane Tempest there. Vane Tempest, oh, and a great tackle by Ferraro before he could unload that ball. And this Ferraro, I tell you what, if Ray Price is Sydney's perpetual motion, this bloke is dead set Central Coast, isn't he, Dennis?
Yes, he's been like this ever since I've known him. Years he's been playing, and now he's relentless in his defence.
Binskin now, in possession for the Townies. Hilliard's got it. Gets a pass away there to, looks like Tony Clark. But Tony Clark wrapped up and put on the ground by Billy Dance. He'll get up and play it. 40 metres out. Binskin now puts a kick in. Not a bad looking one either. Ferraro's back there for it. Oh, takes it beautifully. Ferraro over his head. He is a great player, this Sam Ferraro. There's no two ways about it. He'll get up and he'll play it back to Lewis. Lewis got hold of one leg. Ball goes backwards. And who's got it? Umina have come up with it again. In centre field, 22 metres out, 10 points all the score. Ferraro, dummy half, gets it on to Leo, now playing in a headband, gets it on to Taylor in a headband too. And he's tackled, 27 metres out, gets up, plays it back. Back to Finnegan, here's MacArthur, oh, MacArthur flying. Oh, and taken in a good tackle by Binskin too. Some good stuff there, good hits by the little men. Here's Thompson, little chip in over the top, he can reach out, he's held up there. I think that might be a penalty. Turner in possession for Gosford now, down the right side, gets it on to Westbrook. Beats a tackle, oh, can't unload. Try to unload Westbrook, but couldn't let it go. Edwards, dummy half, gets it on now to Hall. Hall on to Stubbs. There's Vane Tempest now. Good inroads into the Umina defence in centre field, 40 metres out, and there's a Gosford penalty. A Gosford penalty against Ferraro. What was that for, Dennis?
Inside the 5 metres on the play, the ball on this side of the field, Bob in front of the grandstand.
Well, Gosford's come back with a new lease of life, Dennis. Just before half-time, I thought they might have been gone, but obviously Binskin's done something in the dressing rooms, and he's got a lot more involved himself in the game.
Yes, well, I think he might have realised, Bob, that the game was slipping away, and I'd say that most of these players are playing on heart now. There's a few of them carrying pretty heavy injuries, including Trevor Binskin.
I tell you what, if this keeps going at this rate, I'm going to have to employ Chris Kirby, the ventriloquist, to do this for me. Anyway, here's Gosford now in possession. They're 15 metres out through Stephen Stubbs on the far side. That's the turnstile into the ground. Gosford in possession through Edwards. Gets it on to Bullo. Fires a pass to Rawlings. Rawlings, oh, swamped there by the Umina defence. 15 metres out, right in front of the Umina goalpost. Gets up, plays it. There's Hall now. Shoots a pass out. Out it goes to Stubbs. And Stubbs will be wrapped up and put on the ground 15 metres out. He'll get up and he'll play it. Gosford on the attack. Through Binskin. Puts a bomb up. It's not a bad one either. No, it's a bit deep. I think it's going to go right back. But oh, taken beautifully by Naper. And he runs out over the dead ball line. And play will restart now with a drop kick underneath the goalpost.
Enormous pressure on Umina in this last 10 minutes. Gosford's had the ball. They've controlled it well. And it's only been great defence from Umina that's kept them out.
Okay, there's the drop out now, taken by Napier. Binskin just knocks it behind him, and Vane Tempest will pick it up and he'll run it straight up the centre of the field. Now he goes across field, but Steve Woods wraps him up in a good tackle, ball and all. 23 metres out from the Umina line. Vane Tempest will get up and play it. Plays it back to Edwards. Playing a big part in this game, Edwards. Out it comes to Turner. Turner looks for the gap, goes himself, gets it on to Westrup. Westrup hemmed in there by 3 Umina defenders. And that's where he's put on the ground about 7 metres in from touch, right on the 22-metre line on the grandstand side. Westrup will get up and play it, and he'll play it back to Clark. Out it goes to Turner. Turner on to Binskin. Shapes the pass. Now he does. Gets it on to Hillier. Hillier nearly through the gap there, the front rower. And what's happened there? I think he's lost the ball, has he, Hillier? Yeah, lost the ball.
He lost the ball, and Gosford regained it, so they'll put a scrum down, Bob, about, 25 metres out, right in front.
Right in front. And some pressure on Umina at the moment. 10 points all. 10 points all in this replay.
What a great psychological lift it's going to be for the next side, Scotty, that can score the points.
Oh, whoever scores next has got to be in with a big show. I'd like to be in front with 20 minutes to go.
There's the Umina scrum win. MacArthur goes round the blind, gets a pass on to Billy Dance. He gets a pass on to Woods. Woods can't handle it. It's knocked on. And that'll be another scrum, and that's a hooker's nightmare, Bobby Scott.
Yes, Taylor, of course, would have a broken heart at the moment. He keeps winning the ball, and I think Umina should be just trying to control it a little bit better. They've got plenty of possession. They don't need to do anything silly. If they just play percentage football, they could win this game.
Well, Taylor's won another one for him. Finnegan's come in off the wing, and he's got a pass away there to, who was it? Looks like Jamie Thompson, flattened in a good tackle there by Clark. Here's Ferraro from dummy half. Puts his head down, goes straight up, makes a gain of about 5 or 6 metres in centre field, 35 metres out. 10 all the score at the moment in the 83 Central Coast Division Grand Final replay. And here's Joe Leo, straight up the centre, Joe Leo. He's lost the ball behind him, Ferraro. I tell you what, he's never more than 1 foot away from the ball, is he, Sammy Ferraro? Saved the day again, but it's Umina in possession. Ferraro, dummy half, comes across field, trying to pick up a runner. There's the gap. Oh, Thompson nearly through the gap there. 40 metres out from his own line. That's where he'll play it. Plays it back to Taylor. Taylor now, on to Leo. Stops, turns, gets the ball back. Gets it on to Napier. Napier straight up the middle. He's got McCarthy there. Oh, can't get away from Pinskin though. Oh, he's having a great game, the little halfback. Having a great game. Knocked to the ground there by Pinskin. And that'll be Umina penalty. Oh, a Gosford penalty. That's a Gosford penalty. A little bit of dramatics in there, I think, as far as Jimmy Woods was concerned.
That's right, he's penalised Umina for not getting on and playing the ball. You know, the player was standing on his feet, he dropped to the ground looking for a penalty, and it's gone the other way.
You know, one of the things I always said, being a member of the Hookers Unions, that halfbacks and 5'8" should stick their head in a scrum someday. And I tell you what, I bet you Cole Taylor's thinking that for Umina. He's won all the ball, and all they have to do is hang on to it, Umina, and not play silly football, and they can win this game.
Well, he certainly won him some ball, Bob, because the scrum count at the moment 8-3 in front of Umina. So, gee whiz, he's won him some ball, all right. All right, well, here's Gosford now. They'll take the penalty. They'll look for touch on the grandstand side, and they'll find it too, about 1 metre on their own side of halfway. And it'll be Westrup now to take the tap free. Okay, he does so now. Out it comes to Binskin. Binskin on to Turner. Turner looks for a runner. Picks up Hillier too. Hillier goes straight up to centre. But he's met in a head-on ball and all tackle by Gary Lewis. Pretty prominent in this game today too, Gary Lewis. They play it now. Rawlings gets it out to Stubbs on to Bullo. And Bullo having one of his better games for this season, I'll tell you. Because he's just taken that ball up and he's worked play up about 3 metres on the Umina side of halfway. But there's another knock on. Another little knock on. Jimmy Woods is spotted in there, so that scrum will pack down right in centre field. 1 metre on the Umina side of halfway. 10 points all the score at the moment.
Bob Sharman score check around the grounds at Woy Woy Oval in the soccer grand finals under 19. It's Wyong 2 defeated Woy Woy 0. Reserve grade soccer still in progress at Woy Woy Oval. It's 0-0 between Wyong and Umina. Reserve grade at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and South Sydney just over the line. First score in that game, it's South Sydney 4, missed the conversion, Manly 0. Back to you.
Thank you, Mike. And for those maybe that didn't hear it yesterday, the Central Coast State League soccer side were defeated in the Northern New South Wales grand final by 3 goals to 0 by Western. Okay, back here at Grahame Park, we've had another Gosford penalty, and the ball right down into touch. And they'll take the tap free now about 35 metres out from Umina's line. There's that little run-around move with Edwards and Binskin. Binskin now, Edwards, look at this Edwards. He's beaten off about 4 tackles, goes back the other way. But now they've got him wrapped up okay. It was Gary Lewis that put him on the ground. He'll get up and he'll play it. Back it comes now. Binskin's got it. Shoots a pass out now to Stubbs. But I tell you what, there's a few Gosford forwards walking at the moment. They're all in a bunch. And that's certainly no time to be walking. Gosford in possession. Bullo now works himself up. Annan gets a pass on to Rawlings. Strong fella too. Tramples over the top of 1-2. He's still going. But now they got him. Wraps him up. Steve Wood was in company with Joe Leo. Rawlings will get up and play it. 15 metres out. Binskin works the blind side. Throws a pass out to nobody. It's picked up beautifully though on a half volley by Frank Edwards. And he did well to pick that ball up 15 metres out from the Umina line on the leak top side of the ground. Here they go, Umina. Trevor Hoare straight down the centre. Hoare. That's the settler. What do they do with it? They'll run it wide or kick it. One of the two. And they'll get up and play it now. 10 metres out. Plays it back now. Stubbs has got it. Back it comes to Binskin. There's the kick. Oh, it's not a bad looking one either. Binskin has been bowled over there too. Oh, Darryl Turner had that too, and it's gone underneath him and behind him. And you might have come up with it 15 metres out from their own goalpost. Kicked through by Gosford, and that'll be 6 to go, I think. And it's Leo now in possession for Umina. 20 metres out from their own line, right in front of the goalpost. And the score at the moment, 10 points all. Ferraro, now he gets it on to Napier. Napier, hitting the high tackle there too. Hitting the high tackle there by Tony Clark. And he's saying it's a penalty. It's a penalty to Umina. But it wasn't for the high tackle, it was for something Shane Rawlings did, I think.
No, he penalised the same player, Bob, but as he was getting back on side, he did kick the player in the head, and the referees ruled that it wasn't accidental.
Kicked him in the head, he just walked past him. What are you coming at, Smithy?
I never said that was my opinion, that was the referee's opinion, Scotty, but you'd find it pretty hard to see with your eyesight, wouldn't you? This is beautiful, isn't it? Eh? This is beautiful. We'll have the blue in the broadcast there. I can see that happening. I tell you the things that, it amazes me, but, like Gosford are getting the penalties, and they're giving the ball back, which they can't afford to do because they're getting beaten 2-1 in the scrum.
Yeah.
So, Umina giving stupid penalties away. Gosford can't win the ball and they keep dropping it.
Okay, they take the tap through now. Ferraro puts his head down straight up the centre. Ferraro on horn. He's hitting a good tackle by Rawlings too. It was a beauty. And Rawlings trying to mass his troops together. He's called them up. Here's Umina in possession through the little halfback MacArthur. He's a strong little fella. He struck off the tackle. Rawlings has got him now and bet him in half, I'll tell you. Roll him over and bet him in half. He gets up though. He's okay. And they get up now and they'll play it back. Looks like Finnegan in from the wing. He gets up, plays it back to Taylor. Taylor now. He's got Leo there. Leo shapes the pass. Now he gets it away. Gets another pass away now. And Slattery's got it. But look at this Gosford defence now. All pick him up. Western it was. And Bullo, and they pick him up and drive him into the ground. And he'll get up and play it right on halfway. Ferraro shoots a pass out to MacArthur. Gets it on to Dance. Stops, squeeze, turns, goes round the other way. Thompson's got it. Ball's gone behind Finnegan. There's a crash on for the ball there. Who's got it? Looks like Umina. Woods has got it. There's MacArthur. MacArthur flying up the other side. Oh, gee, can't unload. Oh, geez, absolutely everywhere, this MacArthur. He's a great little player. Umina now. They're going to put the kick up. There's the kick gone now through Thompson. Westrop's gone round. Takes it behind him on his own 22-metre line. Runs up, tries to beat the tackle of Dance, but he can't. And the score 10 points all at the moment, and we've had 18 minutes in this second half. And will it be 10 points all again? Goodness me, you wouldn't believe it.
There's one thing for sure, Dennis, we would agree on, and it's all hard out there, those 26 players now. Just about every one of them is carrying some sort of an injury.
Here's Anna now on the fly, one wide off the fringe of the ruck. And winding up, but he's put on the ground there by Cole Taylor in company with the Williams. Gosford in possession through Binskin. Gets a pass on to Darryl Turner. Stops, throws the dummy. And that's another Shepard ruled, I think. Shepard ruled against. And that's twice for the same thing, Dennis. Exactly the same move.
Well, look, I don't believe that was a Shepard, and it was proved because the player was tackled. The man with the ball got tackled. So how do you call it a Shepard?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit hard to see, I guess, from here because we're looking side on at it.
Well, yes,
it certainly looked okay to me, I must admit.
Yeah, well, a Shepard is if you're impeding the defence, and how can the defence be impeded if the bloke's been knocked to the ground?
All these new moves, there's such a fine line, these run-around walls and all the rest of it. There's such a fine line with this Shepard, and puts enormous pressure on the referee because what coaches are trying to do, of course, is get every advantage they can, and if they can pull off one trick like that, well, it could be the ball game, it could be the match-winning try or whatever, so they're certainly trying to do everything they can. They're just on that fine point of the law.
Well, this is certainly an interesting situation because Johnny MacArthur has given himself the sack for this kick, and it's Billy Dance to take it.
Can you understand that, Chano? Because, the other bloke's record standing there, isn't it?
Certainly is. Okay, all Dance moves into it, 40 metres out, there it goes. Direction's okay, but it's going to drop short. Nolan takes it, and he'll run it upfield. Nolan at all. Good run too.
Why would the leading point scorer in the district not take the kick at goal?
Yeah, I find that one a difficult one to follow. Binskin now in possession and gets a pass on to Frank Edwards, and he's just worked play up onto the Gosford 22 and gets up now, plays it back to Rawlings. Rawlings now gets a pass on to Hillier. He's got Bullo in support on the far side of the ground. The league's pub side, but Bullo put on the ground there. Good tackle by the Umina defence. He'll get up and he'll play it. Back it comes now along the line. Who's got it? Looks like Stubbs. Stubbs just comes up one wide off the fringe of the ruck. Goes to ground with it, and I think they've got to move this ball around a little bit more, Gosford, and try and create the gaps in the Umina defence. There's Binskin with a kick. If it's got the legs at all, it takes a wicket turn too, and it's going to go out over into touch about 3 metres on the Gosford side of halfway, and that's a Gosford penalty. Oh, Gosford penalty, and what was that all about?
He's penalised Umina for grabbing Binskin after he kicked the ball, Bob, so that he couldn't follow his kick trail.
Well, I didn't actually see that because I was following the progress of the kick, and There's a few unhappy Umina supporters in the grandstand behind us, I can tell you.
Everyone's starting to get a little frustrated. The tension is really, and pressure is really starting to tell, not only on the players, but the spectators and the commentators.
You can say that again. Westrip now takes it tap free. 3 metres on the Umina side of halfway. There's Trevor Hoare now in possession. Puts his head down and goes straight into the centre of the Umina defence. And they wrap him up, put him down on the ground. Stubbs receiving ambulance attention at the moment. He's on his feet okay though. Here's Binskin now, works the blind side. Rawling shows it, goes himself. And he's a strong player too. There's big Gary Lewis in there trying to reach the ball. And there's a bit of frustration starting to creep into this game, I tell you. Gary Lewis has got Rawlings wrapped up in a headlock. Rawlings shoves him out of the road. They get up and play at Gosford. Turner's got it, gets it on to Hillier. Hillier trying to find the gaps out wide. But this Umina defence pretty strong at the moment.
And we've got 20 minutes to go. We're halfway through the second half, Bob.
20 minutes to go and 10 all the score. This is a nightmare. And it's Gosford in possession through Mick O'Toole. Slips a beautiful little pass to Turner. Turner slips a beautiful little pass to Cole Taylor, and Umina come up with it. Taylor throws a pass back now. Back it comes to Thompson. Puts his head down, goes up the centre. And wrapped up in a good tackle, 35 metres out from his own line in centre field. 10 points all at the moment and 20 minutes to go in the second half. Here's Manning now with the ball. Caught in a great tackle by Rawlings. And I tell you what, I'd hate to be doing a tackle count on Rawlings and Sam Ferraro, Dennis Smith.
Yes, Rawlings, he's in everything, not only in defence, Bob, in the attack. He's taking the ball up. Him and Lewis having a good personal duel here this afternoon.
My word, they are. Ferraro now shows it, goes himself, tries to unload there to look like Finnegan. Yes, it was, but couldn't let his arms go and get it away. So he goes to ground with it, gets up, plays it back it comes to Thompson. Oh, straight up the middle, Thompson. He's got Finnegan in support. He's gone the other way, though, throws a pass back inside Finnegan. Oh, he can't hold it, it's loose on the ground. And that'll be a knock on and a brilliant little bust there by the Umina 5'8". Oh, good stuff.
Yes, and I think another player that's got to do that for Gosford, Scotty, is Trevor Binskin. He's a great ball player. Umina are starting to hang off him a bit now because they're getting tired. And I think if he throws a few dummies, he might find a few openings in the Umina defence.
First scorer's going to win this game, I think, Dennis. I'd like to be in front from here on in.
Okay, scrum packs down right on the 22 in centre field. Binskin to feed. He's got it set now. Umina win the scrum. That's another scrum win to Cole Taylor. Thompson throws a big long pass out to Billy Dance. But look at this Gosford defence. Darryl Turner comes in and wraps him up with Mick O'Toole. He'll get up and he'll play it. Dance back to Ferraro. Ferraro gets it back to Manning. Turner's got him wrapped up, ball and all. Puts him on the ground in company with Trevor Hoare. He'll get up and play it on the 22-metre line in centre field. MacArthur's got it. Gets it on now to Williams. Williams tries to bust the first line of defence, but this Gosford defence holding at the moment. And it's got to too. 10 points all at the moment. We've got about 18 minutes left. Here's Leo now, straight up the centre, the big front rower. And makes some good inroads there. A gain of about 6 or 7 metres before he too was put on the ground. Right in centre field. That's where he'll play it, Leo. Gets to his feet. Ferraro, he's a runner now coming through. Finnegan it was. Lewis has got it. Oh, Lewis now flying for the corner. He's got somebody there. Oh, pulled out about half a metre short, the big fella. Oh, by gee, Billy Curtin's there for Gosford. And that's a Umina penalty. A Umina penalty against that Gosford defender for trying to reap the ball out of Gary Lewis's hands.
Well, this is funny because the halfback now is going to take the kick in the form of John MacArthur. It's a much more difficult kick than the one he refused only 5 minutes ago.
Yes, the only thing I can conclude there, Bob, is that he may have been injured at the time. He may have had some temporary injury and thought that it was a better decision to give Dance a go, because I gave him a bit of a bagging at Umina one day. He got a kick right on the halfway line in the wet. I said that he would have been better off going for line, and you guess what he did?
Well, I tell you what, this is a pretty similar position to sometime last week, remember, Bob?
Yeah, about 8 metres the other way. That's where it was. Okay, he's got it set. Takes the 2 to the right. Has another look. Moves into it. There it goes. No, it's a shocker. It's a shocker.
I think he's lost his confidence a little bit with his kicking. That could be his problem.
Yeah, it's a shocker. It was well wide of the post and out over the dead ball line. So Gosford will restart from the centre of the 22 with the score at the moment, 10 points all.
Let's look at what's coming up at your club. Tuesday Rock Night next week at the Doyleson YERSL features 2 top groups, the Little Heroes and Hoodoo Gurus. Wednesday nights are Gala nights at the Togra Lakes Golf Club. 10:30 a.m. Monday to Friday is the time for jazz fitness at the Entrance Bowling Club. There's a Gala night at the Tukley Bowling Club on Tuesday with the Townsend Brothers. And free discos at the Wyong Golf Club every Thursday and Saturday. Keep listening to 2GO for what's on in your club.
2GO Football Bob Sharma.
Umina now in possession through MacArthur. He's made some inroads too. Here's Ferraro, takes the pass off MacArthur, crash to the ground. I just can't believe the amount of work this Sammy Ferraro gets through in a game of football. But Umina on the ball through Gary Leo. They're 25 metres out now from the Gosford line, and Gosford under some pressure too at the moment, I'll tell you. Ferraro, dummy half, goes the open side, runs himself, and he can't unload, but he's made a good gain of about 7 or 8 metres. That's the 5th tackle. And what'll they do with it, Umina? Put it in the air. It comes back now. Back it comes to Thompson. Has a shot at a field goal. And it's wide, I think. Yeah, it's wide. Vane Tempest takes it, runs it up from his own in-goal area. Brings it up about 7 or 8 metres. Gosford in possession. And Vane Tempest will get up and play it now. Right on the 10-metre line. He gets up now, gets to his feet, plays it. Back it comes to Westrup. Westrup just comes down the blind side and makes a gain only of about 4 or 5 metres before they wrap him up. And put him on the ground, good tackle. Vane Tempest, dummy half, gets it on to Annan. Annan now gets it on to Mick O'Toole. Mick O'Toole trying to put his head down and get through that gap. But Big Joe Leo's got him in company with Cole Taylor. Gets to his feet, plays it back. Here's Bullo now, Straw charges at the line, the big fella. And maybe should have looked to unload there, but went to ground with it. And he'll get up and he'll play it. Back it comes now. Binskin's got it. There's a little chip over the top. Edwards is through after it. Oh, takes a bounce to the left. Steve Woods has got it and tries to unload. But Gerald Turner puts him on the ground. 10 metres on the Gosford side of halfway. Here's Dance now. Dummy half. Takes it up about another 10 or 12 metres. Right in centre field. The score 10 points all at the moment in the 83 grand final replay. Here's Thompson now. Works the blind side. And he's got Slattery there. Beats the toe. Just shrugs off Mick O'Toole and goes himself again. But now they've got him. Stephen Stuff puts him on the ground 30 metres out. Gets up now. Plays it. Back it comes to Ferraro. Throws the dummy. Goes himself. Ferraro had MacArthur outside. And he's put on the ground and gets up and plays it. Back to Thompson. Thompson now on to Finnegan. Finnegan across the other side of the field. Good run too by the winger. And he's a elusive runner too, this Finnegan. Now they come back. Thompson's going to have another shot at a field goal. I think that one's going to be wide, is it? Yeah, that's wide. I can't believe the field goal attempts. Oh.
I think both sides are panicking just a little bit, but there's still plenty of time to go. I feel that either side, they'd be better off if they got a nice deep back line and made these tired forwards chase the ball across the field instead of taking the ball back into the ruck like they're both doing at present.
Well, I just see Jerry Lee, an old-time Gosford Townie supporter, on the table underneath us, and he's got a double bed sheet wiping the sweat from his brow. And why wouldn't he? 10 points all. What have we got? We've got 26 minutes in the second half, so we've got 14 minutes to go.
You've got to feel for these players, Bob, because they all know one mistake can cost their team the game. There's enormous pressure.
Oh, exactly, Bob, exactly. All right, we've got a scrum packing down on the 22-metre line, about 10 in from touch on the grandstand side, and it'll be Binskin to feed. And in it goes now. And it's a Gosford scrum win. What's happened? It's Umina penalty. Umina penalty for Binskin not retiring, I think was the decision. Dennis, would it be?
Yes, I think that's what he got him for, Bob. But he didn't have much option. The ball came straight back out. But you've got to play your averages in a tight game like this.
Yes, and the changing fortunes of rugby league, because it was only a short time ago Umina were under the pressure. Now it's Gosford's turn to be under pressure.
Well, one thing you can't say, Bob, is that Umina haven't had their chances. I mean, if you look back at last week, the kicks at goal they missed. They've just knocked back a kick here on the 25-metre mark because they haven't got enough confidence to take the kick.
Yeah, Scott.
They've changed the rules since you've played, old mate.
Right, listen, I tell you what.
I told you last week there's no 1-yard rule and you can't have a shot at goal from a scrum infringement.
Well, that's the only reason they didn't take it, right?
Exactly. Okay, well, they've taken the penalty. They've put it out the touch. They've taken the tap free. Ferraro now. Out it comes now to MacArthur. He gets a pass on to Williams, but Williams is crunched to the ground there. It's some great Gosford defence, and it's got to be good too, I'll tell you. And it was Leo. Leo gets up now, plays it back. MacArthur's got it, works the other side with Thompson up the blind side. Now it's Williams. Williams puts his head down, and they're 10 metres out now from the Gosford line on the grandstand side. Is straight up the centre with Slattery. It was the winger from dummy half. And they've got to swing this ball wide, I think. Here they go. There's crisscross moves everywhere. Big Lewis straight up the centre. Lewis dragged down about 4 metres out. They play the ball, quick play the ball, and it's Slattery. Runs it from dummy half. That's the 5th tackle, and we'll have a change over in possession. And I think that'd be better to work that ball wide, Dennis.
Yes, well, I feel they should have, Bob. They're in a good position to do it there. They were in Gosford's quarter, but unfortunately Gosford can't do it now. They've got to play it safe. Nice little short passes off the ruck and try and clear their own line a bit, and then Binskin will probably put his foot to the ball.
Gosford now, 10 metres out from their own line. Here they go. Edwards has got it, takes it up, gets a pass to Turner. Oh, there's a 2-man overlap there. Out it goes now. Big O'Toole gets it on the clock. And the
Cover the fence, comes across and puts him on the ground. Steve Woods it was. And a great tackle on the Leeds Club side. Gosford now. Turner's got it. On it comes to Edwards. Stops, turns, goes down the inside, Edwards. And pull down in a tackle there. Steve Woods the tackler again in company with Williams. 2 metres on his own side of halfway. Gets up, plays it. Back to Bullo. Bullo on to Binskin. Throws a pass to Hillier. Tries to take it up, but there's big Gary Lewis. Wraps him up, puts him on the ground in company with Thompson. And they're 3 metres on their own side of halfway. Binskin a dummy half. Now he's going to kick, and he's going to kick for touch too. It's not a bad one, only a gain of about 10 or 12 metres. The thing that worries me if I was a Umina supporter, Dennis, is that they've had a lot of chances to win the game. I mean, you know, you see this often when a team just doesn't take that chance, and they have had plenty of chances to win this game.
Yes, especially in the second half, the play has seemed to be up the bowling club into the field, and probably for a long time we see Gosford back down this end, so this is their chance if they can win this scrum.
Okay, in it goes, but Gosford have come up with it. Westrup's got it, runs around the open side from the blind side wing, and pulled down there by MacArthur. Gets up and plays it right on halfway, back to Turner, on to Vane Tempest. Oh, he's flying the fullback, he's wound right up, crushes off one, goes again. And that was Jamie Thompson that he just brushed aside there, and a good run by the fullback. Took it up about 10 or 12 metres. Gets up now, plays it. Turner switches play out to Binskin. Gets it on to Stubbs side of the hole there, and just didn't have the pace to go on with it. And he's put on the ground 40 metres out from the Umina line. On the grandstand side of the ground. Gets up, plays it. Rawlings has got it. Goes from dummy half. Oh, good run too. Brushes off one. Brushes off 2, 3, 4 tackles. And oh, he's a strong player. Jeez, he's a strong player, this Rawlings. And he's taken play about 15 metres out. Back they come now, Binskin. Oh, didn't know what to do with it there, Binskin. Now he elects to go to blind side. And I think he was in 2 minds there, Den, whether to have a go for a field goal. Binskin.
Right, that's correct, he was.
Gets up though, Binskin. He'll play it back. Back it comes now to Turner. Turner comes down the blind side. Goes himself. Turner puts a little chip in over the top. It's a 32. There's a race to the ball. And I think it's going to go out over the dead ball line. Yes, it does. And that'll be a restart of play right underneath the goalpost. I tell you what, if I was Gosford, I'd be working towards the middle of the field and trying for this field goal, because there's just 10 minutes to go, Bob, and 1 point can win this game. Certainly can at this stage, Bobby Scott, and by gee, what a couple of games of football we've had in the last 2 weeks.
They've got to position a man on either side of the ruck so they can throw it to one and then throw it to the other side.
Here's their chance now. There's the drop out from Umina. Comes back to Trevor Hoare. Trevor Hoare straight up to centre, but he can't beat the tackle of Sam Ferraro. They should just take 6 moves right up the middle of the field and give it to Binskin and see what he can do. There he goes now. Binskin's got it. Goes himself. Oh, good run too, but hit an equally good tackle. That was Ferraro again, right around the bootlaces, and Manning over the top, and they hurt him too in that tackle. Slowly to his feet, Binskin gets up, plays it back to Stubbs, turns it inside to Annan, and Annan makes a gain of about 3 metres, and I think they're working up to this field goal attempt.
This is the one they should kick now.
Edwards now comes back to Turner. Turner goes himself. There was a field goal on there, but the Umina defence came through. Bullo comes back around the other side, the big fella, straight down the centre, can't unload though, and there'll be a field goal on here for sure. For sure, there'll be a field goal. They're all deep. Where are they? Where's Turner? Turner now. He's back there. There's Binskin. Binskin now goes for the field goal, but it's a shocker. It's a shocker. And how many times have we seen that in the last 2 weeks?
Well, it happened on every occasion last week, and there wasn't a field goal that went anywhere near close, and we haven't seen one today, really, that's been close.
All right, well, Umina will restart play now from the centre of the 22 with the tap. Ferraro takes the tap, gets it on now to Williams. Williams works it upfield, only makes a gain of about 6 or 7 metres. Alan Johnson getting ready on the sideline for the Umina side. Now they get up Umina, play it. Out it comes to Ferraro, runs across field, trying to link up now. He does, links up with Dance. Dance has run across field though and crowded Slattery, the winger. He had nowhere to go, so they put him on the ground. He'll get up now and he'll play it. Westrip to marking. Ferraro, dummy half. They swing it around everywhere. MacArthur gets it on to Lewis. Lewis now. Back there, they've got a replacement player on the field. Umina in 14. We'll try and pick him up for you. And he's crashed to the ground. Gets up, plays it back to MacArthur at dummy half. On to Ferraro, out to Thompson. Thompson on to Dance. Dance now gets it on to Stevie Woods. Brushes off the tackle there of Warren Hillier. And he goes straight upfield. Now he gets a pass to Finnegan. And Finnegan put on the ground too. 10 metres on the Gosford side, halfway this time. Here's Thompson, Ferraro. Oh, they've got red and green jumpers everywhere. Here's Williams now, goes back inside. Beats the tackle of Rawlings on to Ferraro. Thompson flying, gets a pass on to Slattery. Oh, good stuff, Umina. Oh, brother, can you believe this rugby league? And it's Umina on the boil. Here they go, across field. No, MacArthur goes himself. Stands, throws the dummy, can't unload. Now he does, gets it on to Taylor, and that's a changeover. That was was great defence, I'll tell you. They needed to tackle everything there. Great defence from Gosford, and certainly Umina looked as though they were going to go in.
Oh, did they? What? But here's Vane Tempest now. Just runs from dummy half, 6 metres out. And we've got, let me see, 7 minutes left. 7 minutes left, and it's still 10 all. Here's Rawlings now. Just goes from dummy half with a gain of about 5 or 6 metres, and there's some 26 tight footballers out there, I can tell you. Vane Tempest from dummy half takes it up 8, 9, 10 metres, right on the 22-metre line. Stubbs at dummy half, gets it back now to Binskin. Shapes the pass, yes he does, gets it away to O'Toole. O'Toole comes back inside, and they're right on the 22-metre line on their own end of the ground, on the Gosford Bowling Club end of the ground. Here's Edwards now, gets it back. Binskin throws it back the other way, back to Turner. Turner winds up, pushes off the tackle of Manning, but he can't beat Taylor's tackle, and he's put on the ground. He'll get up now and he'll play it back. Back it comes to Binskin. He'll kick it for sure. Binskin, a little kick for touch. I don't know. Oh, it takes a wicked bounce, and it's cleared them all into touch. Oh, it took a wicked bounce and cleared them all into touch.
Yes, well, if I've ever seen a kick favour someone, that one certainly did. It went left, it went right, it went left again, and then went right to go over the sideline.
Ah, great game of rugby league, and I tell you what, 7,000 fans last week, and probably 3 or 4 this week would dead set not go away from the ground disappointed.
Well, they've got a feast, and they can watch this and then go home and see the Sydney Grand Final. It's as good as this. It wouldn't be a bad afternoon of rugby league, I'll tell you.
Certainly won't, and there's Bullo off the field and Kuya-Falo on. Umina win the scrum, 5 metres on their own side, halfway. MacArthur's made a bust, but they've got him. Rawlings now, let him go. Turner's got him now, they're all over him. There's 5, 6 Gosford defenders there, and he's put on the ground eventually, the little fella. He's got plenty of fight left in him yet, I'll tell you. Thompson now throws a ball, that's knocked on right in centre field. And Cole Taylor walks across the field just shaking his head.
I tell you what, that MacArthur won the 2GO Player of the Year, and I can see why. By geez, a good halfback now.
Oh,
he certainly is, Bob. He's very strong, isn't he? You notice that every time the defence comes into him, he's got the happy knack of pulling away from the tackle.
And Cole Taylor wins another scrum. MacArthur goes back on it. Binskin falls all over him. Ferraro, dummy half, throws the dummy, goes himself. And makes a gain of about 7 or 8 metres. And he's put on the ground. Right in centre field, up they'll go now. They take it up Umina, there's Kuya-Falo across in cover, and a good tackle there by the replacement Gosford forward. Umina now, they'll get up and play it. 40 metres out from the Gosford line, they work the blind side through Napier, takes it up but he falls and slips. Pretty dusty out there at the moment. And he'll get up and play it back to Ferraro, turns it back the other way, Taylor. Takes it up to centre, Taylor, a good gain of 5 or 6 metres. We've got about 4 minutes to go. Here it is now, Thompson puts it up in the air, it's a little chip, but it's not a good one. Edwards will go back for it and take it. Boy, gee, I just don't know what's going to happen. I can see this replay situation all over again, the way this game's going. 4 minutes to go and 10 points all. Can you believe it? I can't. Anyway, there's Binskin, throws a big long pass out there. That's Channels out on the other wing.
What's going to happen, Bob, at 10 all? We have another extra 10 minutes?
10 minutes extra time each way. That's the story, and it's Gosford in possession.
Good afternoon.
It's Mick O'Toole now. Gosford in possession right over on the far side, on the Leafs Club side, 22 metres out. That's where they'll get up and they'll play it. Back it comes now. Binskin's got it. Shapes the pass. Yes, he does. Gets it back to Wennon. And it comes back inside. Tries to blast his way through those Umina forwards, but they're certainly not going to have any of that at this stage of the game. And it comes back now. Back it comes to Binskin. Puts the foot to it. Drives it downfield. Doesn't look a bad one either, but I don't think it's going to take fine touch. No, it doesn't. Takes a right-hand turn. Napier picks it up, brings it upfield, and works it up about 4 metres on the Gosford side of halfway before he's put on the ground. Up they come, and there's a Umina penalty. Gosford all caught inside the 5.
Well, there's their chance.
Well, what are they going to do with this? Sammy Ferraro has got the ball.
He doesn't know either, I don't think. Well, listen, I just want to comment on this. They played the ball on this line right in front of us here, and Gosford defence was standing on that other white line, which is 10 metres, and they've been knocked for standing inside the 5 metres.
Yeah, well, he's the man in the middle, but here's Umina now with the tap free. Up they go. Oh, good run too, taking it right up there. They're about 20 metres out now from the Gosford line.
2.5 to go, Bob.
We've got 2.5 minutes to go, and we could have 10 minutes extra time each way all over again, would you believe? And it's Umina in possession. Cole Taylor, I think it is in possession. Gets up, plays it back out. It comes to MacArthur. Swivels, turns, gets it on to Thompson. There's runners. Oh, Woods through the gap. Gets a pass back to Lewis. Lewis flying for the line. Gets it back to Billy Bears. Slattery comes back inside, flying for the line. Oh, and he's pulled out half a metre short. Oh, can you believe it? Half a metre short. Ferraro, dummy half, puts his head down. Goes for the line. But he's held up. He's held up by the Gosford defence, and by gee, it's been good stuff. Out it comes now, comes back, knocked back, picked up by Umina, picked up by Slattery. And that's the fifth tackle. The fifth tackle, what do they do with it? Put it in the air. Oh, and there's a Gosford penalty for an incorrect play of the ball. Talk about panic stations. And the crowd in the grandstand behind us are literally going berserk. They are beside themselves.
200 minutes of football and we've still got a 10-all draw.
It looks like it's going to end that way. There's a minute and a half to go and Gosford's got the penalty. I'll probably take out the 6, so I can't see a result coming out of this 40 minutes.
Warren Hillier now takes the tap free, works it up 22 metres out from the Gosford line. And he's tackled there, put on the ground, Cole Taylor it was, gets up, plays it now, out it comes now. Pitchkin gets it on to Kuyafalo, put on the ground right on the 22 by Sammy Ferraro. Gets up, gets it back to Pitchkin now on to, out it goes wide, Tony Clark's got it, goes out to Edwards in this crowd, they're going berserk, Edwards down the far flank, but he's pulled down there. Great tackle, gets up, plays it back down to Turner comes back to Pitchkin out to Hillier, looks for runner, throws it up, he goes himself, gets it back to Lennon now, he's got Rawley's hand but he can't unload, and that pass a little bit dubious, I'll tell you, it could have been a forward. Westbrook now, Robbie Hart, gets it back to Ray Tempest don't do a Pitchkin now, under Turner gets it back to Kuyafalo down the flank, he's lost the ball I think, and you might have come up with it, no, Gosford's still in possession. Moving Gartell, gets up, plays it back it comes to Turner back to Pitchkin on his top, Turner put on the ground and the ball loose, and that's a fifth tackle and a changeover, and it'll be Umina that will come up with the ball and all locked together 10-all, and we are right on full time in the grand final replay. 1-0. Head on the hooter, Ferraro will take it now, there's the hooter, and we're going to go into extra time for the second week in a row, would you believe? Oh, and we have got to take a commercial break, Mike Connors, before my voice collapses.
Shirley set the standard high, green with envy passes by, look on Shirley's lawns and say, how did they get their price that way? New lawns, established lawns, finest lawns in Bedford, Shirley's Lawn Green Boys. Shirley's Lawn Star, Shirley's number 17, the standard lawn. West, Shirley's Lawn Group, right there at your nursery, garden, place or hardware. Take some home on basket buys with Shirley set the standard high.
It's 1:45 from Sydney at the cricket ground. It's half-time in the reserve grade grand final. South Sydney 8, Manly 0 half-time as the players just come back on the field, repeating South Sydney 8, Manly 0 at half-time.
Now, you can make casual living a pleasure with super value furniture from Harvey Norman Discounts. They have 3-piece brown velvet casual lounge suites featuring tubular chrome frame, just $179. Harvey Norman Discounts also have beautiful leather lounge suites featuring 2 settees plus a single chair in sturdy timber construction, only $799. You won't beat the genuine offers from Harvey Norman Discounts, the Entrance Road Erina, open 7 days.
George, there's something a bit strange about these paint and paper people.
Hello, help you I can. I'm Napoleon Bonaparte.
You're right, Doris. Paint and paper have flipped their lids.
Absolutely right, sir. We're mad to sell 4 liters of acrylic gloss or flat white at $19.90. In fact, we flipped our lids.
$19.90? That's crazy.
That's crazy. Wait till you see our prices on fence paint.
Save on exterior paints now at Paint and Paper. They've flipped their lids. Available at Paint and Paper, 451 Pacific Highway, North Gosford.
Tugio, a phenomenal game of rugby league football. Here's Sports Director Bob Sharman.
Well, I tell you what, unprecedented scenes here because we've gone into the second lot of extra time in 2 weeks for the grand final replay, and for the first time that I have ever seen watching rugby league here on the Central Coast, when the final hooter went, everybody in the grandstand just stood on their feet and applauded both sets of players, and that's unprecedented, and what a great scene to see too. But here's Gosford now. We're into the first lot of extra time, and it's Bain Tempest takes it up. He's worked play up 5 metres. He gets a pass away now to Edwards. Edwards comes around 1, comes around 2, throws the dummy, tries to unload. Now he does, gets it back to Tony Clark, I think it was. But Clark put on the ground right in centre field. and he'll get to his feet and play it. And I tell you what, these players are so tired, they're only playing on living memory at the moment. Here's Cuiafalo, a little left foot kick in. It's not a bad one either, but Napier's got it covered, I think. Goes back for Cuiafalo, walks up, takes him two. No, he misses him. Napier comes up field. Oh, good run from the fullback and brings up about 22 metres. And anybody that was worried, Dennis, about these two sides psyching themselves up, need to be, because they've turned on a great display, haven't they? With Vane Tempest now, straight up the centre, Vane Tempest. Oh, great run from the fullback. Taking it up about 35 metres in centre field. They're 35 metres out now from the Umina line. Gosford in possession. Through Binskin. Binskin now gets it on a Cuiafalo. Oh, but he can't unload. And Rawlings inside, but he's taken it up 10 metres. Rawlings now. Dummy half gets it on to Binskin. They can score from there. Here's Adam. Adam trying to the line, trying to unload, but he can't. Oh, driven in a good tackle too. But he's 5 metres out. And he'll get up and he'll play it. Play it back now. Back it comes Binskin. Binskin's got it. He shapes the pass, gets it back past to nobody. Picked up by O'Toole on the far side of the ground. And put on the ground 10 metres out from the Umina line. And listen to this crowd, they're going berserk. There's Turner now off the ball. He's in the corner, Darryl Turner. No, I don't think so. No try, said Jimmy Wood.
He's put his foot in the touch. The line has put his flag up. He's gone from dummy half. He only had about a metre to run down that sideline, but he must have put his foot into touch, Shamo.
Oh, can you believe it? Can you believe this game of rugby league?
That was the ball game, but he stuck his foot into touch and he's pinged him.
Well, they put out a 5 metre scrum and Umina have come up with that through MacArthur, and he tries to beat the tackle of Rawlings, but he can't get away from Rawlings. They're 6 metres out now from the Umina line. Gets up and plays it. Ferraro, dummy half, straight up the centre, beat one, beat two, but he can't get away. They've got him wrapped up. Cuiafalo it was that wraps him up. Gets up and plays it. Back it comes now. Along the line. Back to Lewis. Lewis straight down the centre. The big fella nearly gapped him too. But look at this Gosford defence now. It's desperate stuff. And we've had about 4 minutes of extra time already, and there's the Umina penalty. Right in centre field. Jamie Thompson takes the quick snap. He's got it all turned around the wrong way. Thompson goes himself straight up the middle. And they're about 40 metres out from their own line in centre field, Umina. Gets up, plays it back to Manning. On to Ferraro. Ferraro now gets a pass, slips a pass away. He's got it now. He goes down field with it, Umina. Oh, there's oh, they got him wrapped up. 2 metres out from the Gosford line. There's some great stuff there by Umina. They're on the boil, let me tell you. Here they go. Throws a pass, back it comes. And they're put on the ground 6 metres out. And it'll be Manning at dummy half. Gets a pass to Ferraro, puts his head down, goes straight at the line. Ferraro pulled out 3 metres out from the Gosford sticks. Gets up, back to Taylor. Taylor on to Manning. Manning on to Thompson. Out it comes to Nance. There's the replacement player. Oh, great Umina try. I'll try and pick up who that player was for you. We didn't get a name for that replacement player. Superb piece of work. A superb piece of work, Dennis Smith. It certainly was. One of the job of giving reps to this afternoon, and that's Sammy Ferraro. Because going back about 4 play the ball, it was on the halfway, and he took the ball up to the defence. He held the ball up long enough to find Jamie Thompson and put Jamie Thompson into the clear. And Thompson tore at the Gosford line, and he was dragged down about 5 metres out. And I still believe that was that one move by Sammy Ferraro that really put Umina on the boil, Shamo.
Oh, he has had a superb game, hasn't he? Isn't it amazing? Gosford's gone in, they've been put their foot into touch, there's been ruled no try, and within 3 minutes it's gone back the other way, and Umina has scored what should be, I would think, the match-winning try.
Yeah, great stuff, and it's been a great game of football. Here's Finnegan coming off. I just haven't been able to pick up the name of that replacement player, but we'll try and do that. But here's MacArthur, got it set, 5 metres in from touch on the 22. 14 points to 10 Umina at the moment. Can he put it over? There it goes. It's on its way. It's coming in. No, it's just waved away. So the score now, Umina 14, Gosford 10.
Hello, darling. Did you get my trifecta wrong? 7-4-11. You did. But you didn't get 7-4-11. You decided on 3-11-4. You... What? That came in. What? 3-11-4? It pays 1,000? How do you reckon I'm feeling?
Football talk. Bob Chalmers.
Wayne Pengrove Penrose it was that scored that try, the replacement player for the Umina side, replacing Mick Finnegan. And Penrose is, of course, the reserve grade halfback. And a great try. 14 points to 10 is McCarthy. He's streaked away, Billy Dance. Mate Tempest has got him. Oh, wrapped him up in a desperation tackle because he was away for all money, Billy Dance, and the Umina bunnies firing at the moment. Here they go. Penrose down the centre. Oh, hit the big tackle, and Rawlings hurt that tackle too. A clash of heads there. And Rawlings down. Umina now. Thompson gets it on now to Williams. Williams comes back in field and crashed to the ground 20 metres out. 14 points to 10 in favour of Umina. And I tell you what, this is far from over at this stage. Ferraro, here he goes, perpetual motion, throws it back now to McCarthy. McCarthy straight up the centre, beats one, beats two. Oh, makes a dive for the line, and he's pulled down 12 inches short of the line, the little halfback. Taylor now, dummy half, gets it on to Lewis.
Hasn't this John McCarthy here today? Top game. Every time he's had the ball, he's been electrifying. He's gained valuable ground for Umina, and he's so strong. He's got that ability to pull out of the tackles for a little guy.
Yeah, and he's just so good on his feet, Dennis, isn't he? I mean, there was a couple of Gosford players that made a grab for him there. He stepped one way, stepped the other, and just left them with fresh air.
The thing I like about him, Dennis, is he's so fierce in both defence and attack. He's almost, got a little bit of that old Tommy Bishop mould in him, where he's not going to let those big forwards dictate to him at any stage of the game.
No, he's got plenty of cheek for a young guy.
18 points to 10 at the moment, and we've had about 7 minutes of extra time. McCarthy's got this place. They scored that about 3 metres to the left-hand upright, and McCarthy got it placed to attempt the conversion, and that will make it 20 points to 10, and there's some heads down in the Gosford camp at the moment, I can tell you. McCarthy moves into it. There it goes, and the flags are up. 20 points to 10, Umina.
I know a bit about gardening, but what do I know about carpet? I know Camberg's about carpet.
Camberg's, all you need to know about carpet.
Camberg's are celebrating their 60th birthday, and they're having an up to 40% off birthday sale. And they give you the kind of advice that only comes from 60 years experience. Hurry while stocks last.
Up to 40% off? Now that I understand.
Camberg's, all you need to know about carpet.
5 to 2 Sunday afternoon. Tuesday football, Bob Sharp.
Straight down the sideline, and he's worked that down about 40 metres out from the Gosford line. He'll get up and he'll play it. Plays it back to McCarthy. On to Ferraro. Oh, look at these bunnies now. They're flying. Comes out now. There's big going on. Lewis straight down the field. Lewis beats one. Beats two. Gets a pass away now to Sutter. He can't handle it. I think it's gone out in a touch.
Good bit of work by Lewis then too. He pushed off two Gosford cover defenders coming across and positioned Slattery perfectly down that flank, but Slattery unable to hold the pass.
Oh boy, gee, aren't they playing with some confidence, the bunnies?
5 minutes ago it was 10-all, now it's 20 points to 10.
Yep, different ball game. Okay, scrum packs down, 10 metres out, 10 metres in. Here they go. Little run around, McCarthy, Thompson, Ferraro. There's another one, but that's a Shipton. That's a Shipton, and Sammy knew it too. And somebody's had a bit of a dig at the referee there. Jimmy Wood said we'll have another 10 metres, thank you.
A lot of possession to Umina. Just look at the scrums. 12-4, Dennis, is that right?
That's right, and Gosford have only been successful on one occasion in the second half.
Okay, well that's the Gosford penalty. They put it out into touch on the League Club side, about 40 metres out from their own goal line. And what are they going to do, Gosford? Oh, gee, this game has changed fortune. Here's Zerbinska now, a little run around with Edwards. Edwards in the tackle there too. And Umina now, they're really into it, I'll tell you. They know that they've pretty well got this game wrapped up. All they've got to do is play football. Out it comes now. Kuiafalo goes up the centre and shows it. But look at this Umina defence now. Ferraro it was. In company with Manning and also Williams. All over him like a blanket. Comes back to Binskin. Binskin throws a pass down the blind side to Hillary. He's got Noel Lennon coming up the middle. But crunched again in a big tackle there. Crunched to the ground by Mick Williams. And he's had a good game too for the Umina Bunnies today, I'll tell you that. Gosford now in possession. Hoare up the blind side, Hoare. And a pull down about 3 metres now on the Umina side of halfway.
His pass went over the sideline, Bob, and I put a scrum down.
Put a scrum down now, 4 metres on the Gosford side of halfway. 20 points to 10 at the moment to score. And it'll be a MacArthur feed. In it goes. Looks like you might have come up with it. No, it's a Gosford penalty. Feed across the scrum, I think will be the rule.
The penalty at this stage favour Gosford 16 to 10, and the scrums favour Umina 12-4.
Binskin takes the penalty now, drives it out into touch. A good gain too of about 22 metres. And they'll take the tap free right on the 30 metre line on the far side of the ground. Binskin will take the tap free. Gosford, can they get back into this? We're right on full time of extra time for the first time. Here we go, Rawlings takes it up now. And a try on the board by, gee, we could see it happen all over again. Gosford could put a try on the board. Okay, here they go. Binskin now turns it back inside to Kuyapalo. He's a big, strong fella too, but Umina not having any of that. They wrap him up, put him on the ground. And it was Kevin Manning and Ferraro, the tacklers again. Up he gets, plays it back. Stubbs has got it, gets it on to Binskin. Shapes the pass, drops the ball, comes off a Umina player. And there's the hooter for the first lot of extra time. With a score at the moment, Umina 20, Gosford 10.
Sydney Cricket Ground scores, and in the second half in the reserve grade grand final, it's South Sydney 8, Manly 6.
Hi, I'm Sweet.
And I'm Krusty.
Together we make up the Sweet
And Krusty.
Hot Bake.
Something new at the entrance. The Sweet and Krusty Hot Bake opens Wednesday with an amazing variety of bread rolls, pies and cakes, all baked on the premises, guaranteeing their quality and freshness. At the Sweet and Krusty Hot Bake, you can buy bread straight from the oven, just like in the good old days, and at prices that won't leave you short of dough.
Sweet
and Krusty
Hot Bake.
Opening Wednesday in the old Jewel building in the heart of the entrance. Because of the response from the motoring public, Max Cohen is again offering a very special car this weekend. If you want to save money and purchase a new or used vehicle, then you must see a 1978 Datsun 200B GL sedan. At Max Cohen this weekend, it's priced at only $2,995. That's incredible value. $29.95 for GRL 838 at Datsun 200B with new tyres, logbooks and low kilometres. At Max Cohen Holden, Gosford and Woy Woy, your #1 action Holden dealer. Open 7 days. Be there. Tunjo football, Bob Sharman.
Scrum pack down there, and that's a Gosford penalty out of that scrum. And I think it was for against Cole Taylor, feet across the scrum. And we're into the first minute of the second lot of extra time with Gosford leading us. Umina leading at the moment, 20 points to 10. And they put it out into touch. Binskin will take the tap free now, does so. Looks for a runner too. Ball everywhere. Picks up Hillier. Hillier nearly lost it though. And Umina put him on the ground, right on the 22-metre line in centre field. Hillier hurt in that tackle. Gets up home, plays it okay though. Out it comes to Binskin, on to Kuyapalo, down the centre. Kuyapalo throws the pass back right into the waiting arms of the ever-present Sammy Ferraro, Mr. Perpetual Motion himself. And he said, thank you, we'll lock that one up nice and tight. Ferraro will get up and play it. Doesn't quite know where he is at the moment, Sammy Ferraro, and I wouldn't blame him for that. But he gets up, plays it back, and Umina in possession. And Gosford defence just come across and run them across the ground. And they'll get up and play it 25 metres out from their own line, Umina. Up they get now. Out it comes. Ferraro's got it. Steps inside. Oh, beats a tackle. Beats one, but he can't get away from Kuyapalo. Puts him on the ground. A beautiful tackle right around the bootlaces. Gets up now. Plays it back. Back it comes to MacArthur. Shapes it. Lets it go. Now it's away on a Billy Dance. Stops, turns, goes back the other way. Comes inside. Oh, who's he picked up? He's picked up Kevin Manning. Manning straight up the centre. Gets a pass away to Thompson. Thompson can't handle it. It's loose on the ground. And the Gosford come up and through Mate Jacobson. Thompson down there. Hurt in that tackle, Jamie Thompson. And it's Gosford in possession through Main Tempest, 40 metres out. And let's see if they can stretch the Umina defence now. Noel Leonard on to Edwards. Gets it out now to Mick O'Toole. O'Toole winds up, but he can't let it go. And wrapped up, put on the ground, on the grandstand side. 40 metres out from his own line, right in front of our broadcast position. Gets up now, plays it back to Westrup. On to Annett, throws the dummy, goes himself. Look at this Umina defence. Annett now will play it, 40 metres out. Swings a long pass out to Binskin. Binskin now on to Turner. Turner throws the dummy. He'll go himself. Gets it back to Hillier. Hillier's made a good bust too. He's down the field. Hillier and his work play up about 40 metres out. Throws a loose pass that's picked up by Thompson. And that'll be a penalty to Umina. And what was that for, Dennis?
Well, the Umina defender reefed the ball off Hillier. And the ball went forward. And there was a Umina player offside. But we're seeing history made here today, Bob, because I think Umina will run away with this game now, or they'll win it, let's put it that way. And this will be the first time the Umina first grade has won the competition on the Central Coast.
And there'll be some celebrating at the the Edelong Hotel and the Umina Bowling Club tonight, I would think. All right, Gosford now in possession through Binskin, takes the tap free, gets a pass out now to Rawlings. He's had a great game today for Gosford. Rawlings stands up. Oh, he's a strong fella. He had 3 Umina defenders having on him and still got the ball away. Warren Peters getting warmed up on the sideline for Umina at the moment.
Funny thing just happened then. I was watching Ferraro. He's absolutely exhausted, and one of the Umina players went down hurt. Ferraro came behind him and absolutely abused him and said, "Get to your feet." And he dragged himself to his feet. They're not game to stay down with the sort of leadership that Ferraro just leads them with.
He's a fierce competitor, isn't he?
Oh, gee, he's out on his feet, and he's still... I mean, the Umina players have just got to force themselves to go the pace they are when a fellow like him is leading them.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
That's a fitting reward for a bloke like Sam, who's given Umina years and years of relentless service.
All right, Gosford, now they get up and play it. Out it comes to Turner. Turner now gets it inside to Annan. But oh, look at this Umina defence. 20 points to 10, and what have we had? We've had about 4 minutes. We got 6 minutes to go in extra time for the second time. Here we go, Vinskin now gets it out to Turner. Turner throws a long pass out to Kiafalo. He's lost it, I think. There, he's had a pinch. Slattery's pinched the ball off him, taken the ball off him. And all they got to do now, the Umina Bunnies, is play it safe. Taylor now goes himself from dummy half up the blind side, puts his head down, beats a couple of tackles, but now they've got him locked up nice and tight. And he'll get up and play it. Back it comes now to Manning. He's had a good game too for the Bunnies today. And there's Slattery down on the field, injured at the moment for Umina. But Manning will get up and play it. Back to Taylor. On it comes now. They just take it up one wide off the fringe of the ruck. And that's where they'll play it from. 35 metres out from their own line, Umina. Ferraro still urging his players on. Dummy half, swivels, goes himself, throws a dummy, still going himself, and makes a little gain of about 3 metres, and that's not bad tactics at this stage of the game with 5 minutes of extra time left. Ferraro hurt in that tackle too. No, he's got the old cramp, and why wouldn't he have?
I'll say, I tell you what, Ferraro and this young MacArthur, great combination, lock and half. They've, for my way of thinking, been the 2 outstanding players on the field. Although there's been 26 outstanding players, it's hard to sort them out.
Yes, well, where one is, the other one is his shadow, Bob, isn't he?
Yes, they follow one another all day, but this young MacArthur really impresses me. He's got the sort of fight in him that I think can take him on to bigger and better things. He's got that sort of keenness and that aggression that really is necessary to make it in the big time. He's got everything stamped all over him of class.
Okay, well, there it is, and Thompson now puts his boot to it and said, let's get up the other end of the paddock. Oh, there's Peters up there, fresh on the field, Peters as he's flying too. And he comes up now to Main Tempest. Main Tempest pushes him off though. He beats the tackle of Peters, but he can't get away there from Manning, and Manning locks him up, ball and all, and throws him on the ground. And they're going in with some fierce determination at the moment, this Umina side. Why wouldn't they? 20 points to 10. They're 10 in front with about 4 minutes to go. Rawlings now gets up, plays it forward, no dummy half, and he's one player on the Gosford side who has not given up all day, Rawlings. But he's put on the ground there by Peters. Gets up, plays it out, it comes to Edwards. Edwards has got out and it's a 40. He's busted the first line at it, but he can't unload. And they've taken play up about 10 metres on the Umina side of halfway. Gosford in possession through Binskin. Now he gets a pass to Kiafalo. Shapes to pass Kiafalo, but he's support over around the ball. He's still going. The big fella gets it back to Binskin. Good stuff too. Edwards now gets it on to Ennan. Now Turner. Gosford haven't given up, I'll tell you that. Turner throws a dreadful pass. It's gone forward. Who do you reckon's come up with it? Sammy Ferraro. Who do you reckon he's given to? Johnny MacArthur. I can't believe these two. And MacArthur still struggling in that tackle, and he's a fierce competitor. And he's going to get up and play it. 40 metres out from his own line. Here's Napier, up from fullback. Beats 1, beats 2, beats 3. And oh, by gee, there's some tired fellas in this Gosford side at the moment. Ferraro, dummy half. Goes himself, throws it back inside. And it's Pengross now. Pengross brings the ball back inside. Beats the tackle of Kiafalo, but he can't get away from Hillier. And there's another replacement coming on, I think, for the Umina side. Alan Johnson, it looks like. Ferraro on his hands and knees in front of us. Thompson now with the ball. Straight up centre field, Thompson. And they're still going strong. Here's Napier now. He's looked for the corner. It's going to be two. Oh, it's a beautiful kick. Right on the line, I think. No, he waits it back.
On the line's out, Bob. Ferraro's off. He's absolutely out on his feet.
Ferraro out on his feet, exhausted, and why wouldn't he be? And we've got about 3.5 minutes to go.
No, he's not. He's gone back on. He come over to have a look at Gary Lewis, and he's gone back on the field.
Jeez, can you believe him? I can't. Anyway, scrum packs down centre field. Umina penalty, and they'll look for the line. They'll look for the line on the grandstand side of the ground. And I tell you what, there's not one person in this grandstand or anywhere around the ground that's moved. And what a couple of great games of rugby league, Bob. It's been in the last 2 weeks, hasn't it?
Well, I tell you what, Bob, through the year they've had a bit of a battle with crowds here on the Central Coast, but I tell you what, it's come to life. This crowd has enjoyed it, and it's a top crowd here this afternoon.
Certainly is, and one of the good things too from the division's point of view, 50% of the net gate today will be given to both of these clubs, and I think that's a great gesture on behalf of the league.
Certainly is, and those players have earned it.
Okay, Ferraro takes the tap free, 10 metres out. Goes to let it go, but he goes himself. He said, no, he said, we're into the last 3 minutes. I'm going to have a crack at this. He gets up one-legged because the other one won't move. It's full of crap, would you believe? Gets up, gets a pass back it comes down. They run it across the line. And there was a gap there too, but they couldn't unload Umina. They're 7 metres out from the Gosford line. Manning gets a pass to McArthur through the gap. Oh, he's nearly in, the little fella. But he can't load. Great Tempest got him in company with Stubbs. Gets up and plays it back. Ferraro comes back to Thompson for a field goal. And it's over the black dot, and that's the sealer. 21 points to 10 in favour of Umina. Wow.
So what's happened here?
Wow, what's happened here?
It was touched. Was it touched in flight? Is that what the referee's saying?
Yes, that was the signal. That was the signal. Jimmy Woods with one hand touching the other, so a Gosford player must have touched that in flight.
He must be a tall fella.
So we'll revert back to that score, 20 points to 10. No field goal. Okay, Gosford take it now. They drop it out from underneath the goalpost. Ferraro's got it up to 10. Ferraro! He's bowled for the line. And what a critical work for Sammy Ferraro. Good stuff. Good stuff, Sammy Ferraro.
How he ever found the energy to run 30 metres, I wouldn't have a clue, because he's been out and he's been a few times. On the last 3 occasions, Bob, he hasn't been able to get up and play the ball because of the cramps. And how he found the energy to run 35 metres, I don't know.
Well, you've got to give it to Umina. Their first ever premiership. The club's battled themselves to a standstill today. They've played great football, and they come from a great club. But you can't take it away from Umina. Their first ever premiership, and ever a club deserved it. You've got to give it to the money.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of hard work gone into these last 10, 15 years, and your heart goes out to those people, Bob, that do the work off the field.
Well, there's a lot of them.
This is the reward they've been looking for.
There's a lot of them. The officials down there have battled for years, and I think they'd be a very, very proud day for the Umina Bunnies. Good luck to them.
Okay, McArthur got this set right in front, about 10 metres out. Takes the 2 to the right, and I tell you what, he won't miss this one. There it goes. It's on its way. The flags are up, so the score 26 points to 10, and we've got about a minute left.
Right now, Harvey Norman discounts are making cooking easy. With the new Toshiba 650-watt microwave oven for only $389. It features sensor touch control panel, stainless steel interior, and 9 heat settings, only $389. And see the 48cm Rank Arena Color TV, including stand, just $495. Don't miss the fantastic buys this week at Harvey Norman Discounts. You won't beat the genuine offer from Harvey Norman Discounts. They get on Road Merida, only 7 days.
Grand final replay, Bob.
Oh, that's probably an ugly scene, because probably out of pure frustration there, but the winger on this side of the ground has just been hit in a big high tackle from Tony Clark, and that wasn't a good sign. The Umina players fairly upset about the whole thing too, and I think, Dennis, that probably came out of pure frustration.
Yes, unfortunately that does happen in the closing stages of the game. I think they should let the old time tick away here now. They've stopped the clocks, which I think is foolish. They should let them tick away and blow the whistle. This game's over.
Okay, and Jimmy Wood's just going to call Tony Clark out now and have a few words to say, and obviously this will be a minor penalty. They'll kick for touch, and we might be lucky if we get 2 tackles in, and I don't know whether we'll get that in. 10 minutes in the sin bin, and he'll spend it next year. He will spend it next year in the sin bin, will Tony Clark, because he has run out of time today.
I don't think the referee had any alternative to do.
No, I don't think so either, Bob. I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, Jamie Thompson now will look for line, and we're right on full time of extra time. Good kick too from the Umina 5'8", and they take it up. Sammy Ferraro will obviously take the tap free, and he'll run it up now. Sammy Ferraro, 26 points to 10. There it is.
Fitting reward. The only thing, as you say, Bob, The scorers for Gosford, Noel Lennon kicked 3 goals and Tony Clark scored a try to give them their 10 points. Johnny McCarthy was successful with 5 goals, that gave them 10. And Jamie Thompson scored a try, Wayne Penrose scored a try, Gary Lewis and Sammy Ferraro a try, giving them 26 points. Umina 26 and Gosford 10.
Bobby Scott, your comments on the match?
Great game of football and a great call too, Bobby Sharman. You've called 2 games 2 weeks in a row now at 125 mile an hour, and I tell you what, I don't know how your throat is, but by gee, it should be sore. A great call, Bob, to a great grand final. I just like to pay my compliments to Umina. I know what it's like to lose a grand final. I played in a few of them and went down the chute. It's not easy to take, but I tell you what, you can't take it away from Umina. They've never won a premiership. This is their first one ever. It's a great day for the club. Congratulations, and certainly best wishes to them on a fine performance today. And to Gosford, I'd also like to just say well done, fellas, because they've played 2 great weeks of football. They gave it a 110% effort. 2 great clubs, 26 tremendous footballers, and the game of rugby league is certainly alive and well on the Central Coast.
You can certainly say I'd vouch for that too. All right, well, Dennis Smith has gone down to get our man of the match today. Such a great footballer, an absolutely fierce competitor. It was a very difficult decision today to be able to pick between him and young MacArthur, the halfback for the Umina side. Both had great games, as did all the players in the Umina side, and I just take my hat off to Umina because I think it's a marvellous situation for them to be able to get up and win a premiership after 22 years.
Yes, you're right, Bob, and of course I thought on the Gosford side, young Rawlings, the lock forward, had a fantastic game, and in fact Dennis Smith is bringing to the microphone the captain and lock forward for Umina, Sam Ferrara, who's taken out an award, and the player for Gosford has won the award.
Yes, well, each year with the grand final, of course, we do have a man of the match. We also do have an award for the best player in the losing side, and today the recipients of those 2 awards, Shane Rawlings and Sam Ferraro. And I think Dennis is just about ready right now to talk to Shane Rawlings first, and then we'll talk to Sammy Ferraro.
Yes, good afternoon, Shane. What a torrid encounter. Did you think that when you were going out this game, you'd see that we had a draw again at full time?
We knew it would be close. We knew it wouldn't like to play the series in the week. We wanted to be able to, once I did,
No, well, it's a shame. We were saying, and everyone feels the same, it's a pity to see Gosford lose the game, but there's got to be a winner. And what a great performance from all the players.
Oh, yes, both sides, mate. You could just see out there. It was hard, it was tough, it was right until the end. It was only those who got the lucky bounces who won, mate. Yeah.
Well, you've had a great performance. We've given the award to Sammy Ferraro, mate, but your performance for Gosford was unbelievable. Not only in defence, you're always a good defending player, but you took that ball up all day today.
Thanks a lot, mate. Thanks.
All right, well, we'll wish you all the best, mate, and we'll have a talk to Sam. Thanks, mate. But now I've got Sammy Ferraro with us, Sam. What's it like, mate, to win your first premiership?
Unbelievable. I'm just saying, if they had another 13 Shane Rawlings, mate, they wouldn't have been beaten.
No, he certainly put in a top performance, and you yourself, mate, how did you find the energy to run 25 metres to score that try?
Mate, I've been pulling out of the hat.
And I noticed, mate, you haven't lost 1 ounce of speed, mate. You're still as fast as what you were 8 years ago.
You reckon? I was very slow.
Well, look, mate, you finished here. Congratulations, mate, and all the best tonight.
Thanks very much. I thank all our supporters and the whole Umina Football Club. Thank you very much. Okay, Sammy Ferraro, a great little bloke, a fierce little competitor, as I said, and by gee, is he a happy man, and what a nice compliment, Bobby Scott, he did play Shane Rawlings.
Yes, he certainly did. Young Rawlings is a fine prospect. He's got youth on his side. Sam has been playing for a few years. I tell you what, though, if Rawlings ends up as good a footballer as Ferraro, I'll be going all right. He's got a lot going for him, though, young Rawlings. I think he's got a big future. A great game of football, well called, Bobby Sharman, too, because it was an action. It just did not stop the whole 2 weeks of grand final.
It was pretty savage stuff, wasn't it? All right, well, while the official announcement are being made down there, I know a lot of people, including our team on the broadcast tower here, we want to shoot away and have a look at the Sydney Grand Final. While those official announcements and presentations are being made down there, there are a few people that I would like to thank. Firstly, our Man of the Match awards, and I'd just like to do a run through those on for you, and Sam Ferraro, Shane Rawlings will take these awards away with him today. Anderson Sports Store in Gosford's Imperial Centre, the Tiger Joggers and the training bag, that's courtesy of Peter Watson and Greg Spence. From Bobby Graham's Presto Small Goods Outlet at Long Jetty. Bob, of course, this year, again, the sponsor of the Umina Bunnies, and had some interesting news for me earlier in the day, Bobby Scott, that the Presto people, who Bob Grahame is associated with, have been so happy with the performance of the Umina side this year that he's got a nice little present of $1,000 to give to the Umina club tonight from Presto.
I reckon that might just about buy the liquor requirements for tonight. I don't know if $1,000 would cover it.
Well, Bobby Grahame and Presto certainly doing their bit towards rugby league on the coast, and we've got those Presto small goods pack. And also, Bob very kindly has given us a couple extra today. One for the referee of the first grade match, Jimmy Woods, and also his touch judges. Also from Ian Ford, Neil Owen and the boys up there in the Tuggerah Strait. Thank you, fellas, for all your support. And Sam will take away the grease and oil change plus the written safety check. Chickadee Chicken again, Graham Bailey, Barry O'Brien, two great fellas involved in sport in a large degree. The boys up there, the two big family packs plus the heat and serve fried chicken pieces of their delicious product, and they're available, of course, from their 6 Central Coast outlets: Gosford, Wyoming, West Gosford.
Ricky, that's you, huh? Good. Yes. Good. Face out.
Yeah.